Hi friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I am the Nosy Witch and this is my channel, Nosy Witch Tarot. I do collective pickacard readings here on YouTube. Just a heads up, my readings do tend to be fairly long. They tend to be deep dives with lots of specific details and tangible examples thrown in. I'm trying to make this reading just a little bit shorter than my usual readings. I am trying my best to do some shorter readings. That's very hard for me because I am a big yapper, but I'm trying, okay? So feel free to grab a hot or cold beverage of choice, get settled, get cozy, because we have a lot to get through today. So today's reading is titled Surprising Observations Other People Make About Your Beauty, Aura and Magnetism. So what might they see that you might not? What do people find beautiful about you that you may or may not even notice about yourself? We're diving into this topic today using both oracle cards and tarot cards to get a thorough read on your energy and hopefully provide you with some uplifting messages and things you might not even realize about your beauty, your aura, and your magnetism. So this is very much a hype you up style reading. Please bear in mind though, this is a reading based on other people's perceptions of your beauty. We are not asking what you find beautiful about you, we're asking what other people notice or find beautiful. And this can be absolutely anyone, from a stranger in a bar who only sees you from afar or in passing, to a loved one who adores something about you that you might actually be a little insecure about. I don't know what's going to come through today, but it's just to let you know you might not agree with absolutely everything in the reading, and that's okay. You certainly don't have to, and you never ever have to accept anything as your story if it just isn't. These are collective readings on the internet, and not every single detail is going to resonate with every person. Always take what's for you and leave the rest for somebody else. This reading is intended to be empowering, inspiring, and uplifting. I wanted to do this reading just to spread light and to let you guys know that you have so many beautiful qualities that people around you notice even when you don't. So some of these things might resonate for you if you have been complimented on these specific things, even if you don't necessarily agree with those compliments, and other things you might have never even heard before because maybe nobody's told you, but this is about what people are thinking. If absolutely nothing in a particular pile is resonating with you, or a pile is leaving you feeling very confused, that's just a sign it might not be your pile, and you are always welcome to choose a different one. If at any point in the reading you're finding the content more harmful to you than it is helpful, this might just not be your reading today, and that is absolutely fine. Feel free to give this one a miss. You are welcome back at any time. With that said, let's introduce your piles today. So there are 5 piles to choose from and 5 very cute dog stickers. Please feel free to pause the video if you would like some time to reflect on which pile you want to go for. Once you've chosen a pile, please head to the pinned comment or description box below. Timestamps will be listed there and they will take you to the start of your chosen reading. So over here we have pile 1 with the Starbright Tarot and the dog in a heart. Here we have pile 2 with the Mean Girls Tarot and the squinty smiling chihuahua. Here we have pile 3 with the Witchy Magic Tarot and the bread pug. Here we have pile 4 with the Queer Tarot and the flower dog. And here we have pile 5 with the Trash Panda Tarot and the bathrobe dog. If you would like to choose more than one pile, you are more than welcome to. The reading is intended to be timeless. Whenever you find the reading is the right time for you to listen. And if you enjoy the video, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, or just one of those things if you get time. I would really appreciate it, even if it's just to let me know one little thing that resonated for you. It helps me and this channel massively, and on a personal level, I just love hearing from you guys, and I love hearing about the tiny little specific details that resonated. Sometimes I get a random detail through on my readings and I say it and I'm like, I have no idea if that resonated with anyone, like that was so specific. And then somebody will mention it in the comments and I'll just be like, oh, there we go, like I knew it was meant for someone. With all of that said, I just want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your day to listen to these readings. I really do appreciate it. I notice every single like, comment and sub, and all of it just means the absolute world to me. So thanks again for spending this time with me. Take care, and I will see you at your chosen pile collective. Hi Pile 1 Collective. If you chose the Starbright Tarot, and you chose the dog in a heart sticker, this cute little guy here with his tongue out, you are in the right place. Welcome to your reading, friends. If you would like a full reading breakdown, please check out my introduction. I go through absolutely everything there. I will also leave some details in the pinned comment below for your reference, so check that out so you know what to expect today. But today's reading is titled Surprising Observations Other People Make About Your Beauty, Aura and Magnetism. So what do other people notice about you that you might not? What do people think is beautiful and magnetic about you and about your aura that you might not even be aware of? Usual disclaimer, this is a collective reading and not every detail is going to resonate for you, nor would I expect it to. Please take what's for you and leave the rest. You do not have to accept anything as your story if it isn't. If you're finding that a particular pile or this reading generally is not for you, no worries, it's a free reading on the internet and I am not holding you hostage here. If you want to give this one a miss, you're more than welcome to, and you're always welcome back anytime. We are going to be using oracle cards and tarot cards for your reading today, and I am very, very excited to get started. I love doing these hype you up style readings, so I hope you love this one too. With that being said, thank you so much for being here and spending this time with me. Don't worry if not all of the cards are in frame at first. Like I said, I'm going to be using oracle cards, they're there, and then I'm going to be popping your tarot cards underneath each oracle card. I think that's how I'm going to lay it out. But if it's not in frame, I will lay the cards and then I will sort it out. So please don't worry. Without any further hesitation, let's get started with your reading today, pile one. So we're just going to pop your little sticker to one side. Just going to pop your tarot here for now. Let's have a look at your oracle cards first of all. So the first card is number 28. I'm so sorry for my pronunciation. Mycena Interrupter, Purpose Judgment. From the Wild Whiskers Oracle, we have got Loving Lobster, Simplicity, Steadfastness, Safety. Curious Creature, Exploring Deep Waters, Guide Me to a New Discovery. From the Blooming Cats Tarot, we have got Scorpio, Intuitive, Loyal, Protective, Jealous, Abrasive, Secretive. October 23rd to November 21st. Element is water. Ruling planet is Mars. Associated with the Death card, stones are topaz and citrine. Colours are red and black. Lucky numbers 1, 2 or 9. And flower, we've got geranium and honeysuckle. You do not have to be a Scorpio for this to be your pile. This is just about overarching energy, but Scorpio placements obviously might be relevant. From the Panda Oracle, we have got Strategy, number 48, Planning, Prediction, Mind Reading. Interesting. We are getting that with the Scorpio card. From the Affirmations of Fairy Cats, we have Death, which is also interesting, considering Scorpio. We have got number 37, Healing Geranium. From the Mermaid Oracle, we have Telepathy, Non-Verbal Communication, Energetic Pulses, Mind Reading. And we have got Starry Dreams. My dreams are made of stardust and I pursue them with passion and determination. And then for your tarot, we have got the Nine of Swords reversed. We've got the Four of Swords reversed. We have got the Star. We have got the King of Wands. We've got the Page of Pentacles. We have got the King of Pentacles. We've got the Emperor. And we have got the Ace of Pentacles. I've used a lot of cards today, so I'm sorry. It's really, really hard to get everything in frame. So I'm sorry if things look a little bit wonky. I'm not the best with my camera work, my camera angles, but hopefully everything is visible. If you want to pause to have a look at the cards, you are more than welcome to. I know a lot of you just kind of listen to the readings in the background, which is absolutely fine. I do the same with a lot of tarot readings, but if you want to have a look, here they are. All of them in frame. This is why I do a lot of readings that are like looking at a couple of cards at a time, but I wanted this to be like a picture of your overall energy, so I think that's as good as we're going to get it. Now, I often like to mention the numbers on the cards at the start of my readings. These numbers may be relevant for you in terms of an age, a date, a life path, a month, an astrological house, or the sign associated with that house. These definitely do not have to apply for this to be your pile. It's just a little bit of extra confirmation for specific individuals. So we have the numbers 28, 48, and 37. So those, or the individual numbers, for example, 2, 8, 4, 3, or 7, may be significant also. Looking at your cards, pile one, I'm noticing some very interesting repetition going on. You've probably noticed it as well, because I get the sense you're very observant. But to me, this denotes something being very strong or intense about your aura. The fact that certain things are just coming up twice. We have geranium mentioned twice. We have mind reading mentioned twice. We have this Starry Dreams card that mentions transformation with this imagery of the moth. And we also have Scorpio, also linked to transformation. We have, as another example, the lobster and Scorpio cards right next to each other. I know lobsters aren't scorpions, but the similarity in imagery is quite interesting to me. The mushroom as well on this card looks very similar to the mushrooms that are showing up on the death card. The death card itself also reminds me of that 8th house / platonic kind of energy. There's also a lot of the colour blue showing up. It's interesting that so many of these oracle cards, I know obviously the tarot cards, they have a lot of blue in them anyway because that's just the deck you picked, but a lot of the oracle cards, even ones that don't usually have like a blue background, it's a very similar shade of blue. So a lot of synchronicities showing up in your energy power. Blue does make me think of potentially watery energy being significant. I'm hearing still waters run deep. It also makes me think of the throat chakra, so something about communication and self-expression being significant here. And with so much repetition showing up, this is kind of making me think about someone who is very clear in their self-expression and who they show up as. You have an aura of like knowing who you are, and people find that really, really captivating. The first word I kept hearing on repeat as I was looking at your cards is show-stopping. I kept hearing showstopper. There's something about your beauty that is absolutely show-stopping. It's this thing where I'm even feeling it now, like when you walk in, the air just feels different. It feels charged, it feels electric, there's like a buzziness to it. There's this sudden shift, this sudden intensity in the atmosphere. I'm hearing that your beauty stops people in their tracks. It actually interrupts people's conversations. You know, I'm getting the image of you just like minding your own business. You're out and about one day and somebody literally interrupting your conversation to tell you that you're really pretty or handsome or you look really good. And if it's not that, it's like people notice you enter in the room and they might kind of lose their train of thought and they end up being focused on you instead of their conversation. So they could be like sat in front of somebody else, but they're kind of looking over that person's shoulder and they're getting distracted. And they're like saying to the person they're with, oh my God, I'm really sorry, this girl or this guy walked in and I just could not stop staring at their hair or their outfit or their smile or just their beauty. They're saying like, there's just something about them. That's what people say about you. There's just something about you. It's very mysterious. It's very captivating. I think I already used that word, but it's very alluring. You have an aura about you. I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but with the death card showing up, it's kind of like life-changing. And I'm hearing a phrase that people might use about you is like, oh, that person looks like they could ruin my life. But it's not in a horrible way. It's not that you would want to. It's just like they know you would have the capacity to break their heart or something like that. It's very powerful. They know that you have the potential just because of your aura to do like great good or to do great damage, to elicit some kind of powerful change. It's very much like Tower moment energy, Pluto energy. People are saying like, they look like they could ruin my life, but I just have to get to know them. There's something about your beauty where for some reason it looks like you could pull somebody down into the very depth with you. Like they could get lost in you or drown in the intensity of your aura. And it kind of like scares people a little bit. It might be difficult for people to make eye contact with you for too long. It might be kind of intimidating for them. You might tend to find that people look at you, you watch them looking at you, but then they quickly look away or something like that. I'm hearing it's like a striking beauty. You have something very striking about your features. I'm hearing it's like being struck like lightning. It's just something that hits you. And I'm hearing people saying like, oh my God, I don't know what that just was, but I made eye contact with pal one and I got this weird, insane feeling out of nowhere. So I was looking online, as I always do, and interestingly, I found out that another name for this particular mushroom, which I couldn't pronounce the name of, is Pixie's Parasol, which I thought was really cute and adorable. So there could be something where you have a sort of pixie-like or fairy-like quality to your beauty. This might not be for everyone, but maybe some of you are quite petite, or there's some sort of delicateness to you despite this like big, intense aura. Or, you know, maybe for some of you it's that you dress sort of whimsical or in a fairycore kind of style. Or people think that there's just something playful and kind of secretive and mischievous about your energy. I'm seeing small, maybe pointed features, but also sharp eyes are standing out to me. Fairy-like features and cat-like eyes, that is coming through. I'm also seeing these intricate hairstyles. I'm seeing long braided hair. If some of you have ever dyed your hair like pastelish colours, people could think you look really beautiful with that, or it suits this aura that you radiate. But I'm also thinking with Pixie's Parasol, I'm thinking of pixie cuts. Maybe some of you have had a pixie cut in the past and people think that it really complements your features, and maybe you're thinking of getting a pixie cut right now. That might just be a message for one person. For some of you, I'm getting that you're one of those people where you tend to switch up your hairstyle quite a lot, like you tend to go through these dramatic changes with your appearance, but people think no matter what you do, whatever you do, it kind of suits you. Like, you could have these long, elaborate braids one day, and then you could have a pixie cut the next day, and you still look good no matter the style or the length or the colour. These particular blues on the oracle cards are making me think of denim. So people could think that you look extra good when you're literally just in jeans. Like, if you wear jeans, it's almost as though you have this very effortlessly cool kind of vibe. You have this aura where you can throw absolutely anything on and you just make it look good. Even when you dress casually, people think you look great. People think you look so good in your outfits. You don't even have to try too hard. And that's not me saying like you never try hard to dress up. Some of you might be casual a lot of the time, but then also dress up a lot of the time. You might love dressing up as well, but I'm just saying what's coming through in your reading is that even when you don't, like even if you just throw some basics on to do errands or to get your shopping done or pick up your kids, whatever it is, people think you're beautiful when you're just dressed down in something simple. And for those of you where you're like, I don't really get dressed up much at all, like I tend to be casual most of the time, like this is saying you look good however you dress. Like even if you're not the type to say like, oh, you know, I put this outfit together and I matched my dress perfectly with my earrings and I coordinated it with these matching nails, people think you look good whatever amount of effort you've put in, even if it's very little. So you could be the kind of person who says like, oh, I just found this top that I forgot that I even had at the back of my wardrobe and I just decided to throw it on. And people think you're beautiful without trying, and you might actually attract a lot of envy because of it. And I do want to talk about that a little more because there is a strong message about that coming through. But I think a lot of people say about your beauty, they're like, I wish I could look that beautiful by just throwing a pair of jeans on. I wish I didn't have to try so hard. Meanwhile, Pal 1 is over here just looking good when they've thrown on like a black basic top and a pair of jeans or something. But yeah, there's definitely something about you looking really good in jeans, or maybe it's a particular denim jacket or something like that. Maybe it's a skirt, some kind of denim. Maybe there's one particular pair of jeans or a jacket that you wear a lot and it's in reference to that. It really suits you. And yeah, with the jealousy thing, I do feel the need to talk about that specifically for you, Pal 1. We did get some Scorpio energy coming through. Again, you do not have to be a Scorpio. You don't have to have prominent Scorpio placements in your chart, but a Scorpio is often associated with like secretiveness and jealousy and envy, and you could have struggled with that in the past. I'm getting people you thought were your friends but were actually like frenemies in disguise or something. You could have had a really tough time in the past when it comes to other people's jealousy and the way that you have been treated due to that. And you know, when I said earlier, oh, like I won't be surprised if people interrupt your conversations to come up to you and tell you like, wow, you're so pretty, or wow, I love your outfit or your vibe. Some of you, I instantly felt you as I was saying it, shirking away from that. Or, you know, some of you maybe even clicked off, like, well, obviously you didn't if you're still here, but some of you could have thought, like, this can't be my pile because that doesn't tend to happen to you. And it could be because either that's never happened to you, maybe it feels as though you never get compliments, or if it has ever happened in the past, there's almost been this sense of, like, mistrust with it, you not fully believe in it. And I do want to say that this has probably happened more about you than it has to you. Because again, this is like beautiful things that people comment on that you don't even know. Because I do think more often than not, people look at you and they immediately see a beautiful human. But a lot of the time, people really don't feel the need to tell you because they already assume that you know you're beautiful and you must hear that 1,000 times a day. But a lot of you haven't always felt beautiful, and some of you don't even realize how beautiful you are now. Some of you could identify with having a bit of an awkward stage when you were younger. I don't want to even say like an ugly duckling phase because you have never been ugly, like you never have. And I just want to be clear about that because I think you've always been gorgeous, but it feels like you've only gotten more gorgeous over time because you are the type of person where you go through these new phases, these cycles of rebirth and transformation, and you come out of them knowing yourself more and being more confident in your self-expression. And that confidence looks really great on you. So the more you develop that, the better you are going to get, like the more beauty you are going to radiate with your aura. But I do just want to say that you have always had a powerful aura. It's always been evident. But in the past, you could have had people who were kind of jealous of that, and people who didn't want to see you utilize that extreme level of power. So maybe they did things to try and make you feel inferior, or maybe you got bullied in some way. And for some of you, if this was one way that you perhaps didn't fit in with conventional standards of beauty, it's like particular people would single you out and make you feel like you're lesser than, or you're not desirable, when that has never ever been the case. And you know, even for those of you where you are aware, like objectively you've always kind of fitted in with those conventional standards of beauty, it definitely feels again like in the past you've had these frenemies who have tried to make you feel like you don't, almost gaslighting you in a way, but purely out of jealousy and purely out of them like not wanting you to see yourself truly, or not wanting you to realize that you don't need to seek their approval. So I'm going to give a really random example to describe what I mean. It won't be this one for you, but let's just say you are 5'7" and you have a friend who is also 5'7". Let's say some other person compliments you instead of your friend, and this person is like, oh my gosh, Pawan, you have these beautiful long legs and this amazing bone structure, you should be a model. I can imagine this jealous friend kind of chipping in and being like, oh no, Pawan couldn't be a model, like they're way too short and stocky. You know, I'm probably more likely to be a model because I'm 5'7". And if you're like, oh, but we're literally the same height, like I'm 5'7" too, this person, it's like they'd be saying something like, oh, don't be ridiculous, you're way shorter than me, we're nowhere near the same height, you're nowhere near 5'7", you're like 5'4" max. It won't be that example, like I say, but it's just things that they would lie about that categorically just are not factually true. But maybe over time, these sort of things sort of wore your confidence down, or they made you unsure in terms of how you see yourself, to the point where you were like, well, if this person is so sure that I'm not 5'7", then maybe I'm not 5'7", like maybe I've measured myself wrong, even if factually, like, that's just not true. I don't know how to describe it, but it feels like for some of you, now it's almost when someone gives you a compliment, you're kind of skeptical of it, you're a little bit mistrustful. Like if someone were to say to you, oh my god, you're so pretty, you'd kind of be like, oh, they can't be talking about me, or you'd be like, oh, they're just being nice. When to everyone else, it's so obvious how beautiful you are, but maybe you don't quite see it because for so long you've had someone or people in general not telling you that, or like treating you as if you are this ugly duckling when you never have been. So yeah, it could have been that you were more overtly bullied growing up, or you had some kind of toxic friend who put you down in these more secretive ways, shady ways. I don't know, Pawan, I can imagine you saying to this friend like, oh, I went out with Sandy and Mandy the other day and this guy asked for my number. And I can imagine this is the type of friend who would be like, oh really? Like they didn't ask for Sandy or Mandy's number first? And you're like, no, why? They asked for mine. And this friend is like, oh, no reason. It's just that Sandy and Mandy are really, really pretty. And they don't say it, but the implication is that you aren't pretty. Like, the implication is that you're not in the same league as Sandy or Mandy, so nobody could want your number. So it's like this sneaky way of putting you down or trying to make you feel lesser than. But I just think they just didn't want you to notice how powerful you are and how special your energy is. But there's absolutely no hiding it now. I'm hearing there is no hiding it now. Like when you walk into the room, everyone can see it, sense it, it's unavoidable. And some people still to this day maybe find it intimidating and they might be envious. But you know, even if you're not someone who receives compliments, if you don't get people coming up to you and telling you like, wow, you're beautiful, it's just because they think you already know it. But guaranteed, there are people out there interrupting their own conversations because of you, and it's in a good way. There are people stopping in their tracks and saying to the person next to them, oh my god, did you see that girl or that guy who just walked in? They are so gorgeous, I cannot stop looking at them. And there's a reason I was called to mention this, Power because some of you, it's like you will catch people glancing at you and whispering about you, and you might assume that they're saying something negative, but more often than not, it actually isn't. It's actually people complimenting you, but maybe just not saying it to your face. And I want to make that clear because some of you, like due to other people's jealousy, you've been the recipient of malicious gossip or unnecessary judgment. judgment that hasn't been warranted, judgment that's been very much undeserved. And I'm sure that does still happen to you. Like, it does happen to us all, unfortunately. No matter who you are or what you do or how beautiful you are, somebody is going to be out there judging you. And I don't want to gaslight you. If you've had experiences where you can tell, like, someone's giving you a dirty look or they're saying some not very nice things, I'm not going to tell you that's not your reality. But I think also, like, two things can be true at once a lot of the time. I mean, I think if they do that, for one thing, it is absolute jealousy and envy and something lacking within them. But I think you would also be very surprised by how often people are kind of gossiping about you, but in a complimentary way as well. Like, oh, look at that person who just walked in. They're so pretty. They're so handsome. Look at their outfit. I wish I could pull off that look. Even something like, because for some of you, I'm sensing maybe a bit of an alternative style. That doesn't have to apply to everyone. Some of you could have definitely had an emo phase when you were younger, though. There's something about whimsy goth coming through. But yeah, this death card, it's reminding me specifically of like a tattoo design. So you could have visible tattoos and piercings or something like that. And, let's say if it's that tattoo example, it doesn't have to be, but let's say you grew up with a family who didn't like your tattoos or, didn't like the way you express yourself through your dress sense. Like if you're a woman, let's say, and you had a mother who sort of always wanted you to perform femininity and choose to wear dresses, but you preferred wearing jeans. Or, if your mum was like, oh, all these big tattoos look really tacky on women, like sleeves on women do not look good, or something like that, something that's a bit sort of old-fashioned. Obviously, you were never going to get complimented on those things by your mum, by your family, because they have these old-fashioned views that you don't subscribe to. So it could be that some of you do have this parental figure or someone in your family who is your biggest op. Like, even if you don't live with them, it's like every time you go to a family event, this person could be like, oh, that's what you chose to wear. Like, it's always a criticism and it made you feel like you didn't look good. That could be the case for some of you, just a confirmation for maybe one person. But whatever the case may be, if you've internalized some of those beliefs, it would be easy to then get insecure if you like walk into a place and everyone turns to look at you and you see people whispering. It would be very easy for you or for anyone to assume like, oh, they must be saying something bad because my mum or whoever this person was, who was like a frenemy, always told me I look bad when I express this certain look or style. But what I want to tell you, Pile 1, is that 99% of people are actually saying really good things, and the ones that aren't, they still have unresolved jealousy. That's the thing, maybe they grew up in homes where they weren't able to express themselves, so they've internalized some of those old and toxic and outdated beliefs, and they try and project that onto other people. If you're someone with tattoos, maybe people of your mum's generation, if she also doesn't like tattoos, maybe they would say some not very nice things, but the majority of people absolutely love your style. And it doesn't have to be with tattoos specifically or something like that. It could just be something that's considered a little bit unconventional. Even if it's something like a hairstyle, like if you're a woman with a short hairstyle or you've got a pixie cut or you've shaved one side of your head or something like that, there's always going to be that one person looking at you and saying like, oh, I just think women look better with long hair. But 99% of the comments directed at you are going to be more things like, oh my god, her tattoos are so cool, or oh my god, I wish I could pull off that hair, she suits it so much. People are thinking all of these things about you even if they don't tell you, but your beauty and your aura is absolutely undeniable. People cannot miss it. And I feel like that is often why it's so polarizing, and it's often why you might incite some jealousy, because there is no avoiding it, there's no escaping it. I'm thinking of the concept of death in Final Destination. I think I mentioned Final Destination in another one of my readings before, but it's like, you can't escape it, like it's coming for you. That's your beauty and your aura, it is inescapable. People feel it when you enter the room, then their eyes are glued to you, and even when they try to look away or they try to deny it, once they make eye contact with you, it's game over. They die a little bit of a death inside, because if your beauty was show-stopping from afar, it is earth-shattering when they look into your eyes or when you give them a smile. I'm also hearing the phrase put those thoughts to bed. I don't know what that means, but there's almost this sense of like, the people who are jealous or intimidated by your beauty, you put an end to their illusions. That's what I'm getting. So maybe, if they see you minding your own business, some people can create this illusion in their mind and they can be like, well, yeah, Pile 1 is gorgeous, but I bet they're really stuck up or they're really shallow. but one conversation with you and it's clear that that's not the case, you totally shatter their illusions, and it sort of kills them in a way, not to sound dramatic, but some of them, it's as though they were holding onto this hope that you might be a bad person so that they would feel okay being malicious about you, but they realise you're not, you're this loving lobster, and they're like, oh shit, like pal one is the whole package. That's just rude. I'm hearing that's just rude. They're saying like, how dare they? They're just a whole package, and it's just rude that I'm not. This could apply to those of you who have a bit of like RBF at times. People might think you're a bit moody at first, but they have this one conversation with you and it becomes very clear that, yeah, you're this loving lobster. And it's sort of this energy where someone is saying like, oh, kill me now, almost because they want what you have and they feel like they can't compete with you because they know that you are this whole package. I don't want to go on too much about all the ways people are jealous of you, pal one, because ultimately I do want this to be an uplifting reading, but it just feels like something I had to mention. This is coming through strongly, and it felt like there was a need to say it, because some of you, it's like other people's projections and jealousy has unfortunately had this impact on you where it's got you feeling like it's an issue with you when that's never been the case. And it's impacted some of the things you believe about yourself, particularly the good things, because maybe jealous people have focused on the negative for so long that now it is harder for you to internalize the good things that people want to say to you. So I feel like that is a crucial part of this reading, and I did want to address that, because it's all very well me telling you how beautiful you are, but ultimately I also want you to be able to believe it. And this might not be for everyone, but you will know if this is something you've experienced, and especially because you come across to me as very energetically sensitive and very tuned into the world around you, and we will talk about that. But if you are that way and you pick up on like minuscule changes in people's body languages and tone of voice and the way they approach you, you could have noticed like people deal with you differently just because you're you. And in the past, maybe you've made that a you problem when actually it's a them problem. And there's no escaping this. Some of you, it's like in the past, you've gone inwards, or you've tried to make yourself smaller to take up less space in order to try to not provoke these kinds of reactions. But your energy is just too powerful to be ignored, so there's nothing you can do to prevent this. Again, there's no getting around this. You know, it's not your fault that you're beautiful and enviable. You were born that way, and you're only getting more beautiful over time, so you are allowed to own it, and you're allowed to not feel bad about that. Some people are going to have a hard time swallowing that thought. That is a bitter pill for some people, but that shouldn't stop you, living in your authenticity and doing what you want to do. As a completely random example, I'm thinking of like, you could have noticed, someone in line in front of you talking to the person at the till, and the person at the till is smiling and giggling and all nicey-nicey, but when it gets to your turn, you are smiling and being polite and friendly, just like the person in line before you, and the person behind the till is giving you the opposite energy, and you're wondering like, oh, is it something I've done? Like they're being really moody with me when they were just fine with this person. But no, it is 100% this person's insecurity. And also what I want to add to that, a lot of the time it isn't actually malicious. It's just this feeling of like people being intimidated by your beauty and getting kind of awkward around you, and that coming across as coldness because suddenly they don't know how to act. Sometimes it obviously is mean girl or mean guy energy, bully energy, but most of the time I think it's just this feeling of them being like, oh, kill me now, because maybe they're having a bad day where they're not feeling that confident, and then you come in and they're like, great, I'm not feeling good about myself, and now I have to look at this perfect person. And it gets them in their feelings due to whatever confidence issues they're having. And don't get me wrong, that's never an excuse to be rude. Like, nobody should be being rude to you. But I feel like we have all had those days where, we are not feeling our best. We don't think we're looking our best. And that just so happens to be the day where we run into absolutely everybody we know. And it's kind of that feeling of like wanting to avoid people. Like, oh, kill me now. I wish I hadn't bumped into like everyone I've ever known in my life. People get that way with you because they're intimidated, because they can't compare, because they look at you and they're thinking like, wow, I look like a steaming pile of crap today, and here comes Mr. or Mrs. Perfect smiling at me with their perfect smile, and it's pissing me off. Not saying that you are Mr. or Mrs. Perfect, pal one. I'm not saying you think that about yourself or you try and present that way, because I actually think many of you have no idea how stunning you actually are. But other people think you are, and sometimes it's just a little bit too much for them. Another example could be like, you know, if in the past you've been the only friend in your group not invited somewhere, it could have got you in your feelings, feeling a bit like a misfit or feeling like, oh, nobody likes me, nobody invites me anywhere. When actually, you know, maybe one particular jealous person out of that group didn't want you at the event because they were like, yo, if pal one comes, just kill me now. Like, they're going to get all the attention, which of course isn't fair. But obviously, they were never going to tell you the real reason, because then they would have to admit that they're being childish and envious and petty. So maybe it got you thinking that it was a you problem and it never was. But it's kind of made it hard for you to fully trust when people are being complimentary. It's difficult for you to take positive comments on board at times. I actually think some of you get quite uncomfortable or embarrassed by compliments. I can imagine if someone tells you you're beautiful, you think that they're joking or something. Geranium is mentioned twice in the cards, and geranium, from what I remember, it kind of smells similar to roses. And I'm seeing something about some of you getting like rosy or flushed cheeks when somebody gives you a compliment. Or there's this feeling of you wanting the ground to swallow you up. You're like cringing, or you're kind of like, oh, kill me now. But people think it's really cute when you're awkward and when you blush. You might feel yourself going bright red and hot like a lobster and you hate it, but other people think it's really adorable. And yeah, I just keep seeing like something about tattoos, and the tattoos I'm seeing are similar to some of the images that are coming through on these cards. So floral tattoos, mushroom tattoos, moths, mermaids, skulls, scorpions, ocean creatures, or even a tattoo of a chess piece could be relevant. These are just extra confirmations for individuals. Pincers also kind of remind me of claws. So for those of you who you get your nails done, people could think you have really beautiful nails or hands, especially if you do look after your hands or you get manicures or anything like that, or pedicures. People could think you have nice feet even. But I'm also hearing the phrase when the claws come out. Maybe this is for someone specific, but somebody finds it beautiful when you bite back or you fight back in some way. So if you have anyone in your life where your relationship or friendship or whatever is one where you kind of tease or roast each other playfully, like you have banter, I think they're saying it's beautiful when the claws come out. It could also be that somebody wants you to scratch them. I don't know why I'm getting that. I know that's so random, but if someone notices your nails, I've got somebody saying like they want those nails digging into their back or something like that. I'm sorry, I don't know why that's coming through. They're saying that it would be beautiful if you left them with scratches. It could be physical, it could be more metaphorical, like you make digs at them and they kind of like it. This isn't supposed to be a spicy reading or anything like that, but that was coming through. It could just be that somebody finds it a turn on when you're using fighting talk or something like that, if it's not anything to do with nails. Like if you insult them, it's as though you have this cheeky look and they kind of like it. They think you look beautiful with your claws out, even if the claws are sharp or something like that. We did have that Scorpio Martian kind of energy coming through, so fighting talk definitely makes sense to me. But funnily enough, we also have this healing card. This is making me think of someone who can pack a punch when they need to, even if it's with their words. Like, you're somebody who can probably cut people quite deep. Not that you would want to. It's like you can cut people deep, but you can also heal the wounds. You give me very much like a looking out for the underdog type of energy. But I'm also hearing that you're skilled in the art of psychological warfare. Some of you could have this aura, like you could be a therapist or a psychiatrist, but you could also be like a criminal profiler, or what's it called, like a forensic psychologist or something like that. But the specific example that I had in my mind, it's like if you saw someone being bullied, you would know how to hit the bully where it hurts. And you do it by shutting them down, by like delving into their psyche and saying something totally brutal and earth-shattering that's just going to stop them in their tracks. But at the same time, you are like a healer for the person who's being bullied. Because to some degree, maybe you guys do resonate with that underdog energy, or feeling like you're a misfit, or feeling like you've been treated differently due to certain things that are out of your control. So maybe there's something about your aura that just radiates that feeling of being misunderstood, and that resonates with a lot of people. That is very healing to many people who encounter you. Some people could see you in a sort of savior way, like they see you as someone who can fix them, which isn't always fair. I feel like people are saying it's beautiful, that they don't even have to say anything, but it feels as though you can read their mind or you can read their innermost thoughts. This might be why some people avoid eye contact with you. They feel like you can see into their head at times. And it's beautiful, but also unsettling. People are saying that you give off this aura of being this individual who people can tell their deepest, darkest secrets to. When people encounter you, they know that they can't hide anything from you, so they're kind of like, why bother? You know, people are saying it's beautiful the way you're able to suss people out without trying. It's beautiful how natural it comes to you. They're saying that you give off this energy of being able to see right through them, like they're transparent, or you can read through their body language, or you're good at deciphering things people try to keep hidden. They're also saying it's beautiful how you know what people need without being told. Sometimes it literally feels like you're inside people's heads, reading their thoughts like you're on this telepathic wavelength. There's something about the way you study people being beautiful. People notice that you have this gift of observation when it comes to reading the energy of the room. They're saying that you give off this aura of always being 2 steps ahead and always knowing what the next move is going to be. I keep looking at this strategy card and I'm just hearing this phrase like eyes on me. It's like you can distract people. I'm almost sensing, you don't have to be a woman, but I am sensing some kind of like femme fatale or almost like a spy sort of energy. It's as though you could slip poison into someone's drink right in front of them without them even noticing. And even if they did notice, they wouldn't care because they just want to be in your company. They're kind of like, if I die, I die, but at least I get to spend my last few moments in Padawan's energy. Some of you, I'm seeing something about like a contrast between your skin and hair. I'm also picturing Megan Fox, but specifically in the film Jennifer's Body. There could be something about like succubi energy. It's like sexy and scary at the same time. I'm also hearing something about haunted doll energy. Some of you could own a haunted doll or you're interested in haunted dolls or something. I think I'm getting that because, I mean, dolls really freak me out actually, depending on the kind, but like, I guess there are lots of haunted dolls, but it's this idea like they're just these tiny things and they're quite like fragile. I'm thinking of like a porcelain doll. And I remember I grew up with these and I always had to turn them around because it felt like their eyes would follow me across the room. I had nightmares about these specific dolls that we have. I don't ever want to think about it. It's that kind of thing of like, oh, how can you be scared of something so like pretty or something so fragile? Well, haunted dolls are a big fear for people. People say like, yeah, you could go and like break the doll or throw it away or something. But there's this energy of like, people don't want to fuck with haunted dolls. People are like, oh, I'm going to leave the doll alone and just let this doll do its thing and not mess with it. That's kind of a similar thing with you, like scary but beautiful and eyes that follow you everywhere. I'm also sensing that there is this very ageless quality to your beauty. There's something about you having your own style to the point where it really transcends time and culture. And wherever you are, it looks like you belong there. It looks like you've always been there. It's this sort of primordial, ancient beauty. And there's something about you being there and gone, like there and gone. Like I can imagine you, I'm not saying you're a ghost, but it's almost this energy of like, you have this life-changing conversation with this stranger that you've just met, and then they buy you a drink at the bar, and then they're like, oh, I'm just going to the bathroom or something, and then they bump into their own friends, and they're like, I was just talking to this beautiful girl or this beautiful guy at the bar, and I just like told them all my deepest secrets, and it felt like they healed my soul in some way. And when they try and point you out, like they look back at the bar to like introduce you to their friends or show the friends who they've been talking to, the friends are like, there's literally no one there. And it's leaving this person like, you know, am I imagining this? Was I just talking to a ghost? You have this aura, like you have knowledge beyond what you should know. And you know, this person, they try and look for you and find you again everywhere and they can't. You have a very transformative energy, like they will never find another person like you. They look for you everywhere in everyone. They could have one intense conversation with you and then it's like you just drop off the face of the planet. But that one conversation you have with them, it changes their entire life. You have a very unforgettable energy. Something about you haunts them, it stays with them. You pop up in their dreams and thoughts. People can't just have one interaction with you. They find themselves thinking about you forever, no matter like whether they're a close person or whether you've only met them once. There's something about you if whoever you encounter, like, it changes people in small ways, in big ways. You give off this energy of like you are not scared of the dark. There's something about you embracing it. Maybe you give an aura of somebody who is like not afraid to delve deep into more macabre or taboo topics, maybe esoteric or spiritual topics with that 8th house energy coming through. Maybe this is for someone specific, but there is this sense of you viewing topics like mortality in this really interesting and beautiful and unique way. Maybe it's due to your particular set of spiritual beliefs on topics like that. Maybe you're someone who follows a religion where people believe in life after death, or you believe in reincarnation or past lives or something. So it's as though you find a way to beautify some of these topics. It could also be something that's beautiful about the way you honour your ancestors who have passed. Maybe it is a cultural practice even. That's not for everyone, of course. Your aura definitely gives this vibe of like, I can just talk to you about anything, even things that are usually hidden. 12th house could also be significant to you guys. People can imagine talking to you until the sun comes up. And it's almost this vampiric aura of like, they only see you at night and then, you know, they have this transformative time with you and then you just disappear. Not literally, but there is a sense of like they only see you pop up at certain times. You have a very elusive energy. People think that they have eyes on you because you have eyes on them everywhere, but then it's like you vanish. People are also saying that they look into your eyes and they can tell that you have stories to tell. There's this ocean of depth in your eyes that I keep getting messages about. I would not be surprised if people just tend to tell you things and trauma dump on you out of the blue sometimes, pal one. You have this energy that says to people like, your secrets are safe with me. You have that kind of vibe. And it's funny we keep mentioning like you have these kind of sharp edges where the claws come out, but ultimately you also have this kind of aura and this thing about your beauty where people, at the same time as being slightly intimidated, they just want to fall into your arms and be held by you and cry. Like, that's what I'm getting with the healing. It's like people are saying that your beauty makes them want to reach for you, even if they get scratched by the claws, just so they can hold your hand and get to the soft center. What people notice about your beauty is that you're beautiful in a way that a blade is beautiful. Like, there's something about you that elicits danger and has that edge, but there's also something about you that's shiny and tempting that people want to touch. And the thing about blades is that, of course, they can do damage, but they can also unpick and unpeel things that need to be unpeeled, that need to be unearthed. And I think that's what people are saying about you. There's a sting to your beauty, but you can get right to the core of people, right to the soul with this healing energy, and you can unearth whatever needs to be unearthed. There's this specific message coming through for anyone who has noticed they are starting to get a couple of grey hairs. Obviously, that's not for everyone, but if that does apply to you, grey or silver hair, I'm getting that adds an ethereal quality to your beauty. It adds to this aura of mysticism and it actually really suits you. Maybe some of you are considering experimenting with dyeing your hair a silvery colour and that would look really cool. I'm also seeing steely grey eyes. That might be relevant for somebody. There's something beautiful about your face when you're concentrating, or when your eyes are boring into someone and you're scrutinising them, or you're considering what to do next. There's something especially magical about your aura and beauty when you are deep in thought. People notice when you're deep in thought and they kind of want to get inside your head the way you get inside other people's, but often people find they just can't quite figure you out. Again, elusive. You escape people. People notice you have this aura where you can penetrate beneath the surface, and people feel like there's something beautiful about your gaze where you're always trying to seek out what's going on in the undercurrent, like what's going on in the unspoken, things left unsaid. When people are in your aura, they just feel as though you can see everything. Everything is exposed like a raw nerve. And some people might shy away from that energy because some people, they don't want to be seen in that way. It makes them feel vulnerable. It makes certain people feel like prey when they're around you. But it's not like you are a predator, but it's more in the sense of them feeling just open to the elements when they're around you. Like they're out in the open, they're exposed. They don't have this hard shell to protect them because they know that you can see beneath the layers. There's something beautiful I'm hearing about the way you're always hungry for something. You have this aura where it's like you're always trying to uncover an unknowable mystery. And you yourself are the unknowable mystery. It's like you're always trying to pick apart everything around you to unveil this deeper truth. I think this is about how you don't just take things or people at face value. There's always this bigger quest for knowledge. There's something about insatiable curiosity. You are always searching for a challenge that goes beyond what's laid out in front of you. People might think it's beautiful that you ask deeper questions or you're not afraid to question things generally. This isn't the nicest imagery, I'm sorry about this example, but I'm hearing, so I have to say it, it's like you're not afraid to pick the scab until it bleeds because you know it needs to come apart to heal. I think this could even be in relation to something beautiful regarding the way you yourself transform yourself time and time again. This could be you unpicking the layers of your own self, analysing yourself, healing your own wounds. People think that's a beautiful gift of yours. You will do the thing that hurts if you know you need to do it to heal, and it leads to this incredible transformation time after time, because as much as you are aware when it comes to like motives and psyche of other people, you're probably impossibly self-aware when it comes to your own behaviour and patterns. But in the past, I think this has maybe led to you being hypercritical of yourself. But I think with all of this wands energy we've got coming through, there's definitely something about a recent transformation that you've gone through, having led to this greater sense of confidence and acknowledging your positive attributes more. It's like you evolve and you get better and better and better each time you do. Some of you could have been dealing with some nervous system dysregulation. Some of you could currently be coming back from a period of burnout. Maybe you're coming to this phase in your life where you are refusing to push too far past your limits. You are actually learning how to allow your body to rest. Some of you, I'm getting that you're getting back to the simple things, like you're getting back to the basics. So maybe you're focusing on eating right, walking, you're implementing a simple or a basic skincare routine. It's like you're starting to be honest with yourself and you're no longer ignoring your body's signals. And people noticing that something you are doing in that regard, this getting back to basics, it's allowing you to shine. You're continuing to transform. This old version of you is being buried and you're stepping into this newer version. I'm hearing something about some of you stepping into a more masculine energy, and you are radiating this aura of confidence. You're not afraid to take up space, and that looks really great on you. It's like you're looking more and more beautiful the more you express and reinforce your boundaries. Some of you are sticking to a particular habit or a routine that's really allowing you to flourish. You have a very commanding energy, an unwavering confidence. That's how you're coming across in your energy right now. And yeah, you're just less and less afraid as time goes on to take up space, and you are becoming more authentic in your self-expression. You're not caring what people think. I'm also getting this message about some of you being like soft doms, or like you're not afraid of being in control or wearing the pants or something like that. So I don't know what that means, but that's just an extra message for some of you. You're like getting more comfortable in more of a masculine role, even if you identify with being feminine. So that is what I am getting for you, Pal One. I really hope you enjoyed this reading today. If you did like the reading, please do me a massive favour. Please like the video. Please leave me a little comment and let me know what resonated. Even if it's just the tiniest thing, that would mean the absolute world to me, and I would just appreciate it so much. Oh, please sub if you haven't subbed already, if you like this reading and if you want to see more of them. I'm also open to suggestions for future readings going forward. With all of that said, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to listen to this reading. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one, Pal One. Hi, Pal 2 Collective. If you chose the Mean Girls Tarot and you chose the squinty smiling chihuahua, you are in the right place. Welcome to your reading, friends. If you would like a full reading breakdown, please check out my introduction. I go through absolutely everything there. I will also leave some details in the pinned comment below for your reference, so check that out so you know what to expect today going in. But today's reading is titled Surprising Observations Other People Make About Your Beauty, Aura and Magnetism. So what do other people notice that you might not? What do people think is beautiful and magnetic about you and about your aura that you might not even be aware of yourself? Usual disclaimer, this is a collective reading and not every detail is going to resonate for you, nor would I expect it to. Please take what's for you and leave the rest for somebody else. You do not have to accept anything as your story if it simply isn't. If you're finding that a pile or this reading generally is not for you, no worries, it's a free reading on the internet and I am not holding you hostage here. If you want to give this one a miss, you are more than welcome to, and you're always welcome back anytime. We're going to be looking at oracle cards and tarot cards for your reading today, and I am very excited to get started. I love doing hype you up readings, so I hope you love this one too. Don't worry if not all the cards are in frame at first. I am using a lot of cards, and I noticed in Pal 1 it was really hard to get them all in frame, but I will try my best. Anyway, thank you so much for being here and spending this time with me. And without any further hesitation, let's get started with your reading today, pal 2. Just going to move your sticker to one side for now. I'll move your tarot here. We're going to start off with your oracle cards. So I have a nice pile for you right here. We're starting off looking at your mushroom oracle, and we have number 8, enoki, mushroom, align. From the Wild Whispers oracle, we have grounded goat, persistence, discipline, stability, sure-footed mountain dweller, bless me with your balance and grace. We have Aquarius, clever, reliable, creative, pessimistic, stubborn, impulsive. You do not have to be an Aquarius for this to be your pile, by the way. This is just about your overarching energy. So Aquarius, January 20th to February 18th, element is air, ruling planet is Uranus. Major Arcana card is the Star, stones are amethyst and garnet, colours are blue and violet, lucky numbers 3, 4 and 9, flower, orchid and gladiolus. I'm sorry, my pronunciation in these videos, it's not it. We've got from the Panda oracle, 45, collaboration, backup, unity, enhancement. We have got tenacity from the Fairy Cats oracle. From the Green Witch, we have number 16, memory, rosemary. From the Mermaid oracle, we have guide, a guide, mentor, a trustworthy ally. And we have got dream weaver, I weave my dreams into reality with intention and purpose. And for your tarot cards, we have got the 8 of Cups reversed. I've got the 9 of Wands reversed. We have got the Queen of Pentacles. We've got the Hermit. We've got the 8 of Pentacles. We've got the Ace of Cups. We've got Judgment. Oops. And we've got the Moon. I was just saying for pile 1, like, this is why I sometimes look at just a couple of cards at a time, because my camera work isn't the best and because I really have a hard time getting them all in frame. I'm not working with a lot of space, so I'm sorry if they're a little bit wonky. I just wanted you to be able to see them all. I know a lot of you just listen to these readings in the background, but if you want to pause the video to have a proper look at each card, you are more than welcome to, of course. But yeah, here they are. It's hard to get them in a position where you guys can see them clearly and I can also look at all the imagery clearly, but I think we got it. It's the best it's going to get for now until I can upgrade my space and or equipment. But yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Are some of you gymnasts or are you dancers? Because there's something about balance that keeps coming through, something beautiful about your balance. Some of you could do a specific type of dancing. Maybe it's ballet, maybe it's something about your flexibility. Some of you could have hypermobility. I'm also getting a specific message about long legs, long or graceful legs. That doesn't have to apply, these are just confirmations, but that keeps coming through. Something about legs. People think your legs are beautiful regardless of whether they are long or not. Even if you're quite a short person, it could be that you have comparatively long legs. Some people have a long torso or short legs. It could be that you have a short torso and long legs, although that does not have to apply. But either way, your legs are beautiful, pal 2. That is the first message I'm getting. I often like to start these readings by mentioning the numbers on the cards. These numbers may be relevant to you in terms of an age, a date, a life path, a month, an astrological house, or the sign associated with that house. These do not have to apply. It's just a little bit of extra confirmation for specific individuals. So we have the number 8, number 45, and number 16. So those numbers, or the singular numbers 1, 4, 5, 6, or 8, might be relevant to you in one of those ways that I mentioned just now, or in a completely different way. But yeah, the first overarching message that I'm getting about your aura, pal 2, is that you give me this popular loner kind of energy. There's this sense of you being viewed as very, very beautiful by your community. Your aura is one where you become this friend to everybody and everybody wants to be your friend. You make them feel that way about you very, very easily. But on your end, you're kind of a bit of this hermit vibe. You might only have just a few people who you consider like actual friends. It might be very difficult to get you to come out. It might be difficult to get you to give your time and energy to people, but everybody wants to be up in your energy. It's very attractive. But there's definitely something about you being held in high esteem by large groups of people. A part of your beauty is that you give off this aura where everybody wants to be around you, everybody wants to be near to you, everybody wants to collaborate with you or make friends with you. But on your end, you might be more reserved in terms of like who you allow into your personal space or who you allow to know you on a deeper level. Exclusive, that's the word. I keep hearing the word exclusive in terms of your energy. But it's this sort of, it's kind of a contradiction. It's like generous exclusivity. It's interesting you pick the Mean Girls Tarot actually, because I'm getting almost the opposite of Mean Girls energy with you. When I say you're exclusive, it's not because you give this vibe of like, you can't sit with us. It's not those kind of vibes. It's just you have this way about you. You have this unmatchable charisma, this charm, this riz, whatever you want to call it, where you can make people feel like they are your best friend within like 2 minutes of knowing them. You have a very personable, friendly, bubbly sort of vibe, even with strangers, and it makes them feel welcome. It makes them feel related to, and your energy is so addictive because of that. People want to occupy space with you. People want to have you on their team. But the thing is, for you, like, you make everyone feel that way. I think you really try to include people. You know how to talk to them and how to relate to them. You know how to make them feel welcome. You know how to make them feel close to you. But then you might have a very close circle who you actually consider friends. Like, it takes more than that to become a part of your inner circle. So it could even end with people sometimes being a little bit butthurt when they encounter you and they think that you guys are connecting really deeply and they think it's going to be something more. And on your end, it's maybe not so deep. Obviously, that can apply to people getting crushes on you very quickly. But I'm also thinking of like a lot of people even getting friendship crushes on you. A lot of people just love your vibe and your aura generally, and it's not one that is easily forgettable. I actually think a lot of you guys could be ambiverts, or if you're not ambiverts, there's this sense of like you can flip between two different energies. You could love spending time with yourself or with your close circle, but you can also be adaptable. So you know how to be extroverted during social events. And that's when people fall a little bit in love with you and they kind of want to cling to you and they want to be your best friend. But that's hard for you because if you are, you know, at your core more introverted, maybe you just don't have the emotional capacity for that many friends. And that's not in any kind of mean way. Like, you love to love on people, I think, is the thing, and you like to make them feel appreciated and validated. But I think people tend to latch on to you very easily, and I think sometimes there's just not a great deal of room in your life for more emotional connections. Like, you have your circle of friends or family or people, and that's good with you, but I think people get attached to you quite easily. Like, if you're at a social event and you get talking to a stranger, I can imagine that stranger sort of following you around all night, like being by your side. People find you and they just sort of latch to you. Your energy feels very warm and inviting and also a lot of fun. Your aura just gives off like, this is a cool person. I keep getting that. Like, people are like, this is just a cool person. I want to know this person. I want to be friends with this person. I know I'll be good with this person. Like, I'm just going to stick with them. But for you, this could sometimes result in people sort of outstaying their welcome, maybe clinging on a little bit longer than necessary. I feel like you're someone who very much needs your space. You might be the type of person where, like, if you've had to end friendships or relationships or whatever, the other person never ever forgets you, or, you know, they're always trying to return to that chapter or come back into your life. But there is something so beautiful about the way you make people feel seen. You tend to be able to find some common ground with people from all walks of life. There could be something about you being beautiful because you're a very active listener and because specifically you validate people when they're talking. With Aquarius coming through, it could be something about your views and your values specifically. For example, moral causes you talk about, humanitarian causes. A lot of people feel like Pal 2 is cool with me, like their values align with me, they're a good person. You kind of radiate this aura of sort of bringing back people's hope and faith in humanity. You restore people's belief that there is good and there is beauty in the world. And that's kind of why people love being around you, because it's almost like they want to bask in that goodness. I know this reading is all about like what's surprising about your beauty, like that is the whole concept, the whole point. But I want to say for you, pal, too, there's something surprising about your beauty generally. There's something very unexpected about your beauty. And right now I'm thinking of the texture of these kinds of mushrooms. Like when I've had them in dishes, they've been surprising in some way. Like the texture of these mushrooms is often very different to mushrooms in other dishes. And I'm thinking of like an acquired taste. Like you bite into it and it's like, oh, I wasn't expecting that, but I love it. And that's kind of what people think about your beauty. They're like, oh, I wasn't expecting that, but I like it. I love it. For some of you, there's something beautiful about the way you style your hair. There's something about you doing intricate styles, or the way you play with or layer particular strands, or the way you clip your hair. I'm seeing that hairstyle where like part of the hair is down, but there are buns on either side. I'm also seeing like a kind of messy bun, but it's put together in this really cool way. It looks styled and messy at the same time. Some of you might do hairstyles like that and people think they look really good. Something about your style generally though really stands out and looks beautiful on you. If you do follow any kind of trend, which I actually feel like you're probably more likely to be like a trendsetter, but if you do follow any trends, it's like you always put your own spin on it. You always put your signature stamp on things. People think it's beautiful that you are ahead of the curve. People think it's beautiful that you can figure out what the next trend is going to be before it gets big. You tend to do things before other people. There could be something very futuristic about your specific style. I'm also seeing something specifically about the downtown girl trend. I think that's what it's called. You'll have to forgive me because I am not up to date with like trends or anything like that because I don't have TikTok. I get to know about certain trends like a year after they're cool when they come out on like Instagram reels instead of TikTok. But yeah, there's something like I'm seeing somebody wearing like a tote bag with baggy jeans. There's also something about a Y2K kind of style. And yeah, I keep getting this message about something creative with your hair. You know, maybe you style your edges in this particular way that's just cool. I don't know, it's just unique, like different, but it always looks really stylish and put together. I'm hearing a specific message that some of you look like Bratz dolls. I'm hearing something about like an urban look. Maybe some of you used to shop at Urban Outfitters or something like that. There's also something about cyberpunk coming through. I'm also seeing very interesting makeup colours. Like there's beauty in your artistry. If you wear makeup, I'm seeing that you do this like signature look. It could be that you're really good at doing like a winged liner, or there's a particular colour lipstick that you wear, but I'm seeing something unique about it. Like you could wear, you know, slightly alternative colours of lipstick. I'm seeing something being pointed out about a bright graphic liner. There's also something about a silver or grey lipstick, and I'm also seeing like a metallic sort of lipstick. Something with shimmer. I keep hearing the words cosmic or galactic, and now for some reason I'm also seeing images specifically of Aaliyah and her style. You know, obviously she was a superstar and she probably would have gone on to be an even bigger one had she not passed, but predominantly she was known for her music. I know she was also getting into acting as well, and there's also this huge commentary on how iconic her style was, so maybe there's something iconic about your aura and style, something you do that makes you beautiful and makes you stand out, and it's just like your own signature stamp. Maybe some of you like make your own clothes, or you crochet, or you sew, or something like that. Maybe you guys thrift as well, like you wear very unique pieces. But I'm hearing something like Aaliyah, that's not even your main talent. Like looking good is just something that comes naturally to you, but it's not even your main talent. You give this aura of being talented at lots of different things. You come across as a multi-talented person, a person with many gifts. The greatest of all time, some might say, which is interesting because we have the GOAT. I feel like it's funny we mentioned Aaliyah because I'm pretty sure she's a Capricorn actually, so heavy Saturn energy coming through, Aquarius and Capricorn both. You do not have to have those placements in your chart for this to be your pile. But there is something about you embodying that Saturn energy and it being a beautiful quality about you. If any of you feel like you were a bit of a late bloomer in terms of your beauty, or even your career or your success generally, I do want to say that for Saturn dominant people, it actually gets better and easier for you as you get older. So as you get older, you might find that you're aging really beautifully, or life just starts to feel more fun than it did when you were younger. Or, you know, the hard work you did when you were younger starts to pay off in some way. People could think you've been blessed with beautiful bone structure. maybe people tend to compliment this. People think that you have like a snatched jawline, or you have gorgeous teeth or cheekbones or something like that. Or maybe some of you have very toned or defined limbs. People think your limbs are beautiful, like you have beautiful arms. You definitely have an aura of someone who comes across as hardworking and quite a go-getter. And I think this is absolutely something that could benefit you in a career sense. I wouldn't be surprised if you're someone who's managed to snatch up pretty much every job you've ever applied for, because you just radiate this aura of competency, like this person knows what they're doing. But it's giving me this sense of like you have multiple sides to you. I'm hearing something about masking. I'm also hearing something about code switching. I get that in a lot of my readings, but it's like you have this side that looks like you can put in a lot of work and graft. You know, it looks like you're all about your business, you're serious, and you're very professional. And then there's this other part of your aura that's kind of like a little bit wild or eccentric or rebellious or just really unique. People are saying it's beautiful that you can showcase different attributes of yourself. It's funny because Capricorn is very much about like structure and discipline and tradition and navigating a system to work your way to the top. And Aquarius, on the other hand, although they're both Saturn ruled, Aquarius is about like rebellion and change, being forward thinking, dismantling a system. So there could be something about you having this aura where you are capable of containing both of those energies inside you and implementing them in different ways in 3D. That is something I'm getting. And people find that an absolutely beautiful quality. Like Pal 2, I can just imagine you working your way to the top of a company and making yourself the boss or the CEO with your hard work, not so that you can have all the power and all the praise, but just so that you're in a position of power where you can change everything about that company to make it more fair due to your humanitarian nature. You make it more fair and just for people because of your values. There's something about your energy where one side of you is giving like boss, leadership, I'm in charge kind of vibe, and the other side is very much like power to the people, let's unionize, F the system, F capitalism or something. Like people think it's beautiful that you can do both, and your aura radiates that power, but it's like you use your power for good. I'm thinking of when people say, like, there's no such thing as an ethical billionaire, which, you know, I mean, it's not wrong because wealth hoarding isn't a good look. It's hard to make a case as to why some people should have access to endless resources while other people go starving. I don't think it's a controversial take to say that everybody should have access to the resources that they need to survive. I don't think that should be controversial. Unfortunately, it is. I'm not going to get too political on a tarot reading, but let's just say theoretically there was such a thing as like being an ethical billionaire. You would be that. Like you would make the money just so you could give it back to like humanitarian causes and causes that you care about. And there's something so beautiful about that. You would be the billionaire just to call out the corruption or just to dismantle that system and tear it to shreds so you can create something better. You also radiate winner energy. You radiate this sense of being the best at what you do. You are very much in your own lane and there is no competition. When you are placed in the game, there is nobody else. You're like the top of the top. People look at you and just know, like, this is a hard worker, this is somebody who can graft. You have an energy that naturally commands a lot of respect. People know to approach you respectfully or not at all. It's like your hard work and your dedication is written all over you for some reason. I think your aura also kind of lets people know that you're a bit of a perfectionist, and there's a beauty in the way that you perfect everything that you touch. I'm hearing something about you having the Midas touch. There's something about you being beautiful when you hyperfixate, like when you dedicate yourself to a craft. There's something beautiful about what you do that's known about via word of mouth. You have a reputation, people conversate about your beauty, people conversate about your aura, people conversate about what you have going on, your achievements, your successes. And as hard of a worker as you are, there's definitely something that's a little bit offbeat. You definitely have an eccentric side to you. And people find this beautiful. You know, when we talked about this acquired taste, some of you have like weirdo energy, but in the best way. And I'm hearing that line from the craft that's like, we are the weirdos, mister, in the best way possible. It's something like very futuristic and forward thinking. Sometimes it's like your aura is like not from this planet. you could feel that way sometimes, like you're not from this planet. There could be something very ethereal or otherworldly about your beauty, something distinctive, something distant and alien. I'm hearing like an alien's first day on Earth. There's something like quirky about your beauty. Some of you could consider yourselves awkward, but people think that the way you operate and interact with the world around you is beautiful in this very charming way. There's a certain whimsy, or it's kind of like crazy scientist, inventor, eccentric, genius. You look at everything with a fresh pair of eyes, I think is the thing. People find that beautiful. If someone were to give you something, you would make it new. You think outside of the box. You do things in a way that people have never ever thought of before. Again, you're a trendsetter, you're ahead of your time. People see the beauty in that. I'm seeing something about Mortal Kombat for some reason. Maybe some of you have played that. I'm also seeing like a trench coat, but particularly the kind of trench coat that was worn in like The Matrix. I'm also seeing something about origami. I'm thinking of Jim Carrey as well. Is it in Liar Liar? I can't remember. It's definitely a Jim Carrey film though, and he makes like an origami goose. You know, if someone told you, as one example, like today we're making an origami goose and the teacher does it in front of you and is like, this is how we do it. It's like everybody will copy the teacher, the way they fold the paper to make this goose, but you make your own goose in a completely different way. And even the teacher is like, I didn't even know the goose could be fashioned in this particular way, but you managed to do it. Yeah, you are very much someone who does their own thing. I'm seeing something about anime as well. Some of you could look like a particular anime character, or you have that kind of beauty. People might view you as someone who isn't always the best at following instructions. If someone tells you to do something, you're probably not going to do it exactly the way they've said it, but people are saying there's beauty in that. They're saying your aura is one where people just look at you and they're like, you know, just let Paltu do their own thing, because whatever they do, it's going to be amazing, so just let them do it their way. Your way always works out in a specific way that works for you. People get this vibe from you where they think you've been sent from the future to guide us into like a better way of doing things. And with that, what I want to say with this guide card is that a part of your magnetism is that you really do give people the best advice. You could have been told that you're wise beyond your years, and there's beauty in that. And I find it interesting because I think a lot of you don't see yourselves that way necessarily. Like part of your aura for some reason just radiates this sense of like responsibility and competence. And on the inside, you might be like, well, I'm totally irresponsible and, you know, I just like to be goofy and have fun and I don't really know what I'm doing. But there's something about your aura where people just trust you or they feel like they can rely on you. So some of you, it could be this Saturn dominance that's in your chart, but some of you, it could be like you were parentified from a really young age, so now you give this vibe where like, I want to say lost souls maybe want to cling to you. This is very random, but it's coming through. Some of you, people think you have a beautiful stomach. I don't know where that came from. Some of you could have your belly button pierced. I'm also now hearing the song Best Friend by Megan Thee Stallion. Specifically the bit of the song where she's like, we look like twins. Do you have a bestie who you're always with and you've been told that you look alike? Or even if you don't look alike, you have a very similar vibe? I'm hearing attached at the hip, and I think it's as I'm looking at this guide card actually, it's making me think some of you have a particular friend and you're always seen out together and someone is asking if you're sisters or brothers or twins, or you both look beautiful. You know that thing that's like, I've never seen two pretty best friends. You totally defy that, you and this friend. Like people could compliment you a lot when you're together, but I think more than anything, it always looks like you're having fun together. Like you're on the same vibe. You can be completely yourselves in each other's company. You're always like whispering and hanging out together. And I think your energy and theirs, you just kind of bounce off one another. You're like two little weirdos who have found each other and you're always seen out and about giggling or something. That might just be a message for one person. This actually reminds me a lot of my relationship with my best friend because she's an Aquarius. So yeah, I just really love that. That's really sweet. This particular friendship you have with somebody doesn't have to be a friend. It could be your partner or a family member, like an actual sister or brother. There's something about you. You have this look that's very determined. There's something beautiful about how determined you are to reach your goals. You look like someone who's unafraid to face a challenge, and there's beauty in that. Something about your appearance definitely stands out really strongly. Some of you could have a bit of an academic look to you, or there's something about people perceiving you as really intelligent. I'm also getting something about tech queries. For some reason, people might approach you and say like, oh, you look like you're good with computers. Will you help me with this? Even if you're not good with computers. But I do want to say a lot of Aquarians or a lot of 11th house dominant people, they are really good when it comes to the internet. If you do anything on the internet, if you have a business or anything like that, a lot of people will be very attracted to that business. It's not just your skill and talent at whatever it is you do. That speaks for itself, but it's something to do with you specifically that connects a lot of people. People gravitate towards you. They want to click on your page. They want to spend time in your energy. I could see you actually becoming very popular and blowing up and going viral on the internet like all of a sudden because you have this special something, this je ne sais quoi that connects a lot of people. Again, you have this way about you that is very personable and it's relatable, but at the same time, it's not a repeat of whatever has come before you. It's relatability, but it's done in this very new and inspiring way. There is absolutely something very inspiring about your aura. I think you inspire people around you. I think people say there's something very beautiful about how focused you are on your goals and how you go after your dreams and you make whatever you want to achieve this tangible reality. Something that people find really beautiful about you is that you have this attitude where you're kind of like, I'm not going to let this opportunity pass me by. Like, I'm going to jump on this opportunity and whatever I throw my hand to, I'm going to make it the very best it can be. There's something about it being beautiful, how you intertwine tradition with something new. People find it beautiful that you never lose sight of your dreams. And I'm hearing because you're so stubborn, which is really funny. Like, if you want to do something, you don't ever back down. But the thing is, you always end up manifesting the things you want, and people find that surprising, inspiring, beautiful. People could say that there's something a little bit uncanny about your beauty. I don't mean that in any kind of offensive way, but it's almost this sense of like too good to be true. I'm not saying that you're too good to be true or you're fake or anything like that. It's quite the opposite. It's almost this feeling. I'll give an example. Like, obviously in 2025, if that's when you're watching, you don't have to be, but in 2025, in this day and age, it's not hard for people like celebrities, influencers, people on the internet, it's not hard for people to be on camera and look perfect because we have editing, we have filters, we have AI, we have makeup. I know we've always had makeup, but sometimes I'll watch a video of a celebrity from like the 90s or the early 2000s and there's more of an unfilteredness to the video, like the lighting is less flattering or the makeup is harsher, but the celebrity looks perfect. Just perfect in this way that doesn't seem as heavily curated. And they just have this natural spark about them, this charisma where you are captivated. And, you know, even though the lighting or the makeup or whatever wasn't the best back then, their natural charm and star quality and personality shines through regardless, and it makes them so magnetic. And I feel like I'm making it sound as though like the 90s was hundreds of years ago. Like all these poor celebrities who lived through the harsh conditions of the 90s and still looked beautiful, like it's the 1800s or something, and that's not what I mean. But I hope you do kind of know what I mean. There's something about your beauty that's like that. I guess it's because technology has advanced so much within such a short space of time. The 90s feels very different to what we have access to now, technology-wise. Like, I know we had editing and makeup in the 90s. I'm not saying everything was like natural beauty, but I feel like now if you see a picture of a celebrity looking perfect, you're like, oh, cool, like they look pretty, they look handsome, whatever. But it almost doesn't garner a reaction because that's just the standard. Like, it's commonplace for everyone to look branded in a way, like the conventional standard of beauty. Like, we're used to seeing these perfect faces and features that look quite similar. And I guess because of cosmetic surgeries too, we never know who has had what done. And I know that's always been a thing in Hollywood, that's not a secret, and trends come and go. But because it's so common to see like perfect faces and filtered faces and enhanced faces, when you find a video from before that was more commonplace, it can be kind of jarring. But I think more often than not in a good way. Like, even if we go back to Aaliyah, that example from earlier, I'll look at an old video of Aaliyah and I'll be taken aback by like, wow, she truly was absolutely stunning. And this is before we had like some of the filters that we have now, but she still stood out. She glowed in this effervescent kind of way. And I'm also thinking of like celebrities before and afters, if they've had cosmetic work done or anything like that. Sometimes you will find like an old interview of them and you will be like, wow, like you were so beautiful before. And I'm not saying they're not beautiful after. This isn't a commentary on like cosmetic surgery, but there's something about like people's perceived imperfections. If you have anything that you perceive as an imperfection, people actually find you more beautiful because of it. But I'm also hearing about you looking perfect in person. If someone sees your Instagram and they click on your page, they could be like, yeah, you know, she's beautiful, but she's probably wearing a filter or whatever, like most of us think. But when they see you in person, they can't be like, oh, she's edited her pictures, because you actually do look that perfect, even when you're unfiltered, like your charm, your radiance shines through. But also there's this message of like, if you do have any insecurities in terms of your physical features, if you're like, oh, I'd be so happy with how I look if I could just do XYZ, like get Invisalign or lose weight or fix my nose, whatever the case may be, what might be surprising to you is that things you perceive as issues to be fixed, people find absolutely beautiful. People don't think you're beautiful in spite of these things. They're actually a big part of your beauty. So that's a message to those of you, like if there's that one little thing that you really don't like about yourself and you're like, oh, I would love the way I look if it wasn't for XYZ, people think whatever thing that is beautiful. If you're thinking of getting a procedure of any kind, or that's something you've spoken about, a certain enhancement, that's a message for somebody. It won't be for everyone, but I do feel like that is important to say. And listen, I don't ever want to be that person who tells you what to do with your body and with your appearance. The conversation surrounding cosmetic procedures is a very nuanced one, and it's too big of a topic to fully explore during a tarot reading. But in terms of my personal opinion, I am not against cosmetic procedures in any way, shape, or form. I think adults should do what they want with their bodies, and I think they should do whatever they want to do if it will improve their quality of life, as long as it's done safely and with a licensed professional. But I do think it's important that your reason for getting whatever it is you want to get done is your own. And it can actually be really hard to figure out, like, okay, are these my own thoughts? Is this my opinion? When we are constantly being bombarded with so much outside programming, like, do I actually hate my body, or have I just been told that I should for so long that now I've adopted these thoughts as my own? It is really hard to break that down and unpack it all. But I also do think that two things can be true at once. Like, some procedures that are classed as elective or cosmetic can also have health benefits. Like, for example, a breast reduction might reduce back pain, or Invisalign can be good for the health of your teeth or your jaw alignment. You know, jaw misalignment can affect everything from our bite to our sleep, all sorts. So yeah, I just think like you can want to do something for the health benefits and still enjoy the way it looks. But I just think, yeah, it's important to assess the reason why you're doing something. But yeah, there's something about some of you thinking you have a bad feature, but actually this feature provides good facial harmony. It's something like that. Or for whatever reason, this feature actually really works for you. People find it really beautiful. So it could be something specific, like a gap between your teeth, or freckles, or having a big forehead, or something like that. It's something you think makes you less attractive, but it makes you actually even more magnetic. Yeah, I keep getting that phrase, unique. You have a unique beauty. There's something that really suits your face. It stands out and it draws people in. People are hypnotized by it, they remember it. There's also something beautiful about the way you look when you get competitive, when you have a goal that you want to go after. It's like you get very passionate. There's something about you having your game face on. I'm getting that people find it beautiful when you kind of nerd out about things. I don't mean that in an offensive way, but if you have like a special interest or anything, people think you never look more beautiful than when you're discussing whatever that thing is. It's something that lights you up. So if you get hyperfixations when it comes to hobbies, or you have a lot of random knowledge on particular topics, there's something about the way you talk about these things being very magnetic to people. People think there's something about your beauty where you look well-read or you look intellectual. It's an academia kind of vibe. For some of you, you have a sort of hot librarian sort of energy. People view you as gorgeous and also intelligent. It's almost like you're the main character from a romance novel or something. I'm just seeing this image of a cute girl in a coffee shop with headphones in and her head stuck in a book at this coffee shop, and people are like obsessing over her or romanticizing her. You give me those kind of vibes. Or for some of you, you almost give me the vibe of that one teacher who everyone has a crush on because they're like the young, cool teacher who's also really kind. I'm not gonna lie, it's almost always English teachers who that applies to. Some of you could love books and reading, and people think you look beautiful when you're deeply fixated on a book that you're reading. It doesn't have to be a book, it can just be whatever hobby you're into. I am getting very intellectual, mercurial vibes from this pile though. So yeah, people could think your brain is sexy. I'm getting strong Gemini and Virgo placements coming through. I'm also hearing something about STEM. So if there's something sciencey you're into, it could be like your knowledge of this makes you more beautiful. There's something about your brain and your genius ideas that makes you really captivating. There's something about people always wanting to copy you, something beautiful about the way you start off trends, but nobody can replicate it quite like you. You have this certain special element. It's this recipe that just works for you and you alone. Like it's your individual mixture. People could say that it's absolutely beautiful how much of an individual you are. You're in your own lane. People could say like, I've never met anyone quite like Pal 2, or there's never been another. Sometimes you say some like out of pocket things, but people think that in and of itself is beautiful. They think your randomness is beautiful, like the things you come out with. It's things people have never thought of before. People say about you, I've never met someone quite like Pal 2, there could never be another. But it's almost in a way where sometimes you might feel like you scare people who are a bit more like in the box or set in their ways. So your beauty could be kind of threatening to people who don't understand it, or people who value tradition over revolution. And I'm just thinking of scary purely because of the spider. Like, some people scream when they see a spider, they want to avoid spiders at all costs. And other people prefer to see spiders as friends who are just a little bit different to us. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I myself am scared of spiders, but I'd never want to harm one, and I do understand that they are good and valuable for the ecosystem. So that's kind of like you. Some people are afraid because you're a little bit misunderstood, but most people appreciate your unique beauty for what it is. I can definitely see a lot of people, if you are on any form of social media, I can see a lot of people trying to find out what you're doing. I'm seeing somebody zooming in on your pictures. People think all of the pictures that you post look beautiful, and it's like they're looking for a flaw, but they can't find one. There's something very artsy about what you post. I also think you guys specifically could find great success when it comes to online businesses or having a social media platform. I know I've said that before, but there's something about your creations being aesthetically beautiful and people just being drawn to you and whatever it is you put out there. And whatever you put out there, I think it would gain a lot of traffic. People are just naturally magnetized by it. There's something that I think you would find surprising about how beautiful you are to people in their memories that they have of you. You'd be surprised at the way that people talk about a past version of you. And this kind of makes me think of like, you know, when we see pictures of ourselves, especially those of us who have gone through like different trends or, you know, been more experimental in terms of our style, sometimes we look at old pictures of us and we're like, okay, like who let me out of the house looking like that? Why did I cut my fringe so short? What the fuck are my eyebrows doing? Like, what am I wearing? So if you've ever had a moment like that and you're just like, I hate this picture, I look so bad, people remember you as looking absolutely beautiful at all points of the past, even through some of your weird phases. And people might even reference these events where you think you look bad or you weren't feeling that confident. And they're like, do you remember Pal 2's dress that night? They looked amazing. Or they might talk about you as if you were like the most beautiful person in your year at high school. And you're like, really? Like, I thought I was super awkward back then. I'm just seeing a lot of people having these kinds of flashbacks of you and really looking at your face in detail and taking in every feature. Again, it's that kind of like zooming in energy, and even things you might feel insecure about. Like if, for example, you have freckles and you didn't like them growing up, in someone's memory, they're like documenting every freckle in this really romanticized way. And they're saying like, God, you are beautiful, Pal 2. I remember you as perfect. I remember each sun-kissed freckle on your cheeks, and I remember wanting to kiss every single one, or something like that. It's kind of like, in memories, people make their moments with you very poetic, even in these like non-poetic moments. Like, I'm thinking, if you and your friends went and got drunk and you stayed up all night and you went on some rooftop to watch the sunrise together, in your mind, like, because you've been up all night, you might look back on that memory and think like, oh, like I looked a mess, my hair was all over the place, my mascara had ran everywhere, I was so drunk or something like that. But in their mind, they're saying, Pal 2 has never looked more beautiful than this moment when they were sat on this roof and their hair was blowing in the wind and the sunrise shone over their face. Like, that's how people picture you. There's a lot of feeling with it, and it adds to that element of unforgettability. Like, people cannot let go of the memory of you. It's something they cling to and ruminate on a lot. And seeing like your beauty is etched in people's memories endlessly, because even the number 8 reminds me of like the infinity symbol. So I'm hearing forever, people have these certain beautiful memories of you that they'll never be able to like delete from the iCloud of their brain. And I think there's some kind of beauty in them knowing they'll never be able to find another you. Like, whether this is people still in your life or people you've kind of had to draw back from in terms of communication, they're saying they'll never find anybody else like you. Like, you are a once in a lifetime beauty. The way you are, the way you look, everything about you, they will never find it again. And there is a lot of beauty in those sacred kind of memories that they have. There's something else coming through about like if you go to work meetings, or if you're part of a team at work, or even like if you go to a coffee shop and you take your laptop with you and you're doing like meetings and you're just concentrating on work things, there's something about people looking at you and finding you beautiful in this very professional way. I'm seeing like a laptop and glasses, so there's something about you looking beautiful when you're like focused on your work and about your business. But yeah, that is what I am getting for you, Pal 2. I really hope you enjoyed this reading today. If you did enjoy the reading, please don't forget to like the video. Please comment if you get a chance. Please let me know what resonated, even if it's just one tiny little thing. That is the best and easiest way to help me and support this channel. And on a personal note, I just really love hearing from you guys. Please sub if you haven't done so already. That would also be a massive help. Feel free to make video suggestions in the comments below if you would like. With all of that said, I just want to thank you all so much for being here and spending this time with me. Thank you so much for listening. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one, Pal 2. Hi Pal 3 Collective. If you chose the Witchy Magic Tarot and you chose the Bread Pug, you are in the right place. Welcome to your reading, friends. If you would like a full reading breakdown, please check out my introduction. I go through absolutely everything there. I will also leave some details in the pinned comment below for your reference, so check that out so you know what to expect today. But today's reading is titled Surprising Observations Other People Make About Your Beauty, Aura and Magnetism. So what do people notice about you and your beauty that you might not? What do people think is beautiful and magnetic about you and your aura that you might not even be aware of yourself? Usual disclaimer, this is a collective reading and not every detail is going to resonate for you, nor would I expect it to. Please take what's for you and leave the rest for someone else. You do not have to accept anything as your story if it simply isn't. If you're finding that a pile or that this reading generally is not for you, no worries, it's a free reading on the internet and I am not holding you hostage here. If you want to give this one a miss, you're more than welcome to, and you are also more than welcome back anytime. We're going to be using oracle cards and tarot cards for your reading today, and I am very excited to get started. Just a heads up, I'm going to be using not more cards than I normally do, but I'm going to have more cards out at once than what I normally do. So I'm going to lay the cards, but do not worry if they are not all in frame at first. I'm going to lay the cards and then I'll check the camera just to make sure that all the cards are at least visible. I know a lot of you just tend to listen to these readings in the background, and I do the same thing with readings that I watch and listen to. But yeah, I'm not working with too much space, so I might have to have a little play around with how the camera looks, so please bear with me. I definitely love doing these hype you up readings, so I hope you love this one too. Thank you so much for being here and spending this time with me. And without any further hesitation, let's get started with your reading today, Pal 3. So I'm going to lay the oracle cards first, as I have done with the previous 2 readings. So I'm going to pop your little bread pug over here. I'm going to pop your tarot cards over here for now. And let's have a look at your oracle cards. So to start off, we have number 34, Bleeding Tooth, Stagnation. From the Wild Whiskers Oracle, we have Sensitive Sloth, Tranquility, Tolerance, Diplomacy, Peaceful Spirit of the Trees, Teach Me Stillness in the Winds of Change. From the Blooming Cats Tarot, we have Taurus. You do not have to be a Taurus, by the way. You do not have to have Taurus placements. This is just about your overarching energy. Obviously, if you do have Taurus placements, though, or second house is significant to you, that might be an extra confirmation. But this Taurus card says dedicated, responsible, practical, stubborn, inflexible, possessive. Dates are April 19th to May 20th. Element is Earth. Ruling planet is Venus. Major Arcana card is the Hierophant. Stones are emerald and rose quartz. Colours are green and pink. Lucky numbers are 5, 6, and 12. Flowers, we've got poppy and rose. From the Panda Oracle, we have number 75, Nightmare, Suffering, Darkness, Persecution. From the Affirmations of Fairy Cats, we have Abundance, Beautiful. From the Green Witch Oracle, we have got number 10, Ritual, Sweet Corn. From the Mermaid Oracle, we've got Receptivity, Allow yourself to receive, allow yourself to give. And we have got Divine Light, I am a vessel of divine light and I share this light with the world. And then for your tarot, we have got the Page of Cups. We've got the Devil. We've got the Five of Swords. We've got the Four of Swords reversed. We've got the Ten of Wands. We've got the Ten of Cups. We've got the Queen of Pentacles, of course we do. And we've got the Nine of Cups. Okay, it is very, very hard to get all of the cards in frame, so I'm sorry if the camera looks a little bit wonky. I am not the best with camera work and finding the right angle. I have to see the cards as well, so I can kind of get the messages. And I think this is the best we're going to be able to do so that you can see the cards and I can see the cards clearly. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they are all in frame. Obviously, if you want to pause the video to have a proper look at the cards, you are more than welcome to before we get started with these messages. But hopefully, yeah, everything looks like it's visible to me, so that looks good. I'm happy with that. I do often like to mention the numbers on the cards at the start of my readings. These numbers might be relevant to you in terms of an age, a date, a life path, a month, an astrological house, or the sign associated with that house. These absolutely do not have to apply. It's just a little bit of extra confirmation for specific individuals if they do. So the numbers 34, 75, and 10 might be relevant for you, pal 3, or even the individual numbers 0, 1, 3, 4, 5, or 7 might be relevant to you also. The first thing people notice about your beauty is that you are the embodiment of divine feminine energy. Like, if someone said, paint me a picture of a divine feminine, it feels like they would paint you, you know? Like, that's how people view you. And this is no way a discussion about gender identities or anything like that. This is a discussion of energies and sort of what you radiate in terms of your aura. You know, energy doesn't have a gender, it transcends all of that. So whatever you identify with, this can apply. And there is something that I'm getting where, as you grow into yourself, you learn how to embody this feminine aspect of yourself more and more. You learn how to implement it more, and it just starts to become more apparent that this way that you shine, it's when you're very present in this energy. So that is the first message that I'm getting. The thing that I want to say most about your beauty is, people would go to war for you, pal 3. That's what I'm hearing. People would pay extortionate amounts of money to look like you. There's a lot of Venusian energy coming through here. There's something very soft and I'm hearing supple about your beauty. People are also saying that you literally look like a Renaissance painting, or you look like some Greek goddess or god who deserves to be worshipped, is what people are saying. There's something about you having a connection to Aphrodite or just embodying that kind of energy. That could be one of the deities that you work with, although that doesn't have to be the case. But yeah, there is this beautiful softness to you that's highly, highly magnetic. There is something about the shape of your body coming through, the way it curves, the way you move. You could identify as being quite curvy or having an hourglass figure. With abundance, it is just making me think of being more well endowed in certain areas. So I'm just going to say it, you could have a bigger butt or thick thighs, or you could have plentiful titties. People think your body is beautiful, people stare at you. I guess if you're a man, this could be being well endowed in whatever way applies, or you know, having broad shoulders or something like that. Even if you're petite, like even if you don't have bigger boobs or a bigger butt in general, it could be that you do compared to your waist or something like that. Like there's something about your waist to hip ratio. One thing I want to say about you, pal 3, and actually I can really relate to this, but you can probably never find pants that fit you if you're a woman, like just due to the dramaticness of your like waist to hip ratio or something like that. Or maybe it's like shirts, you can never find something that fits your waist and your boobs at the same time. But that doesn't matter. One thing I want to say is that doesn't matter, pal 3. It's probably very annoying. This happens to me as well, so I know how annoying it is. I can never find pants that fit, and that's why I tend to wear like dresses a lot. But it doesn't matter for you, pal 3, because you've got this Taurus coming through, so you are going to be abundant no matter what. Like, you have this energy, you have this beauty where people want to take care of you. You are capable of attracting so many opportunities that you are going to be able to buy some perfectly tailored pants for yourself, or you're going to be able to get somebody to do it for you. Like, whatever you want, babe, it's yours. I just have this urge to like say to you, whatever you want. Like, your beauty makes me literally want to say, like, you can have whatever you want. Like, I'll buy it for you, pal 3. Your beauty makes me want to take you shopping and just get you whatever you want. Almost like I want to pay for you to get some pants that are perfectly tailored for your specific measurements, because being able to see you in those pants would be an absolute blessing for anyone. Like, that's what I'm getting. I definitely think when you leave the room, people are staring after you, drooling. People might be magnetized by how certain parts of your body jiggle or they move. And yeah, people are almost hypnotized. They want to do pretty much anything for you. I'm hearing they want to bend over backwards to get you to talk to them. They want to give you things. There's something about you where you have this aura. For whatever reason, people want to treat you like royalty. People also want to get in your good graces. I'm hearing the song Good Graces by Sabrina Carpenter now. You might find that people just want to go out of their way to impress you for some reason. They want to try and earn your respect. You're someone who's highly valued. Your beauty makes people want to highly value you. They see you as highly regarded. You might be someone who often gets like drinks bought for you, or you get freebies, like you get free samples more than the average person. You just tend to naturally attract a lot of opportunities and abundance. You get picked for things. And with abundance, like, it is not just how you look, but a part of your magnetism is you just radiate this energy of like, I've got everything I want. You have this aura about you where it's obvious you do not operate from a lack mentality. You are very secure in who you are and what you want, and people are so enamored by that. People want to offer you opportunities because of it. Because you want things, you don't need them. But you don't look like you're wanting for anything, if that makes sense. You look satisfied, you look content in where you're at. You look like, I provide for myself and I don't need anyone to do anything for me. And that's part of the reason that people want to give you things, because you're not like begging for it. You're not yearning for anything outside of yourself. You have this kind of beauty where I'm hearing people would want to pay you just to like step on them, pal 3. It's almost like you might be surprised by how many people you have literally simping over you. And I'm also hearing something specifically about you receiving pleasure. It could be that people want to give to you in a physical way just to see you like enjoying yourself. Like, if people were to crave physical intimacy with you, there's something about like people would be happy to just give to you, like just make sure that you're taken care of, because that opportunity would be like a gift and a blessing. Like, obviously, I think many people who are schmexually active and they see other schmexually attractive people, regardless of gender, people are going to want to kind of say like, oh, they're hot, like I'd love to get the opportunity to do whatever things I can't say on YouTube with them. But for you, it's not like the person wants that so they can say, oh, I got with pal 3 and brag about it because they're hot. It's not just so they can get what they want. It's so literally they can give to you. Like, even saying that they could give to you in some way is something to brag about. I don't know, it's something like that. Like, they're not all out for what they want. They're not even bothered whether they get like a turn or whether you reciprocate. They just want to be able to give to you, because there's something about when you receive and when you're like in this moment where you're receiving pleasure, there's something highly magnetic about that. Some of you guys could do some kind of like schmex magic, like you are excellent manifestors when you are enjoying yourself. I don't know how much I can say on YouTube. This is not me being like a prude. I'm definitely not. I just don't ever know how much I can say on YouTube, so I'm being kind of vague when I discuss this. It can be hard to like think of the right words that I won't be penalised for, but yeah, I hope you know what I'm talking about. There could be something about you manifesting during physical intimacy when you are enjoying yourself. But it doesn't just have to be physical intimacy. There is something about your beauty when you're getting what you want. People love to see you genuinely enjoy yourself. You could even find, like, if you did mukbangs or anything like that, you could find that they would be highly successful because people might love to, like, watch you eat. Just if you're eating something really good, they might love to see you enjoy it. They love your face when you're deep in enjoyment with something. They might like seeing you pamper yourself. They might like to pamper you. It's something about you enjoying things in this very physical, material way. And you could have had relationships before where they just wanted to, like, do things for you, and they'd be fine with that just to get the opportunity to see you enjoying yourself. That would be the gift to them. Like, they just feel lucky to be there. If you've not had that before, maybe that's something you're attracting right now with your magnetism. There's something about people just, like, wanting to admire your body and your beauty. Like, you are this beautiful, inspiring art piece. You have the type of beauty people would write songs and poems over. There's something very romantic about it as well. I'm getting romantic specifically. Somebody could have told you that you're their muse. But I think abundance, as well as like the physical things we mentioned, I think this can just refer to a part of your beauty being in this idea that you just look like someone who is doing well for themselves and someone who values themselves, someone who respects themselves. You look self-sufficient, and that's magnetic. You don't look like somebody who, again, is in need of anything. You look like you're well taken care of, but also that you can take care of yourself. You have the Queen of Pentacles because of course you do. Like, of course you have the Queen of Pentacles. And it's this message of, like, you just have it like that. You're independent. You radiate this aura of having your shit together. People look at you and they're saying, like, that is a grown woman or a grown man. They know what they're doing. They know who they are. They're not wanting for anything. They're not looking for validation. You radiate this essence of, like, emotional maturity and stability in some way. That is what you're radiating right now. Maybe it's took you some learning to get to this place, which is absolutely normal. But you just look happy and content within yourself, and you're very much like living in the present moment. You're not looking around like attention seeking. You're not looking around asking, like, oh, who's looking at me? You're not making sure you're being seen. You're just living in your own body, occupying your own space, and letting your posture sit naturally. You're not assessing other people. You're very much like in your own lane, no competition with anyone else. Like, your only competition is yourself, and that's magnetic. There's very much like a solidness to you and your aura. There's a peacefulness to your aura. There's something very beautiful about the way you don't tend to gravitate to drama if you can help it. That doesn't mean you won't pop off though if you need to pop off. But if someone's trying to like compete with you, or somebody's trying to get a reaction out of you, you very much give this energy of like, go argue with yourself. Like, argue with yourself. I'm minding my business. I do not have the energy. There's something about your movements that are quite slow and deliberate. You definitely radiate this kind of graceful and well-mannered energy. There's something about you that comes across as polite, but it also comes across as you having quite high standards. Some of you come across as like a little bit high maintenance. You have a kind of bougie energy, but it seems like, you know, you maintain yourself first and foremost. You do give off this aura of looking like you have high expectations, but honestly, I think it is because you hold yourself to a high standard, and people can tell that you do. They can tell that you're like well maintained, and there's a beauty in that. Maybe you always look really put together when you go out, and that doesn't have to mean you wear like a full face of makeup every day, but there's beauty in the fact you always look like neat or well groomed. Or even if you feel like you haven't made much of an effort, it looks like you have. You always look elegant. It always looks like there's been some thought into like you putting yourself together. And people are saying there's beauty in the way that you always choose to wear something that compliments you and really flatters you. Like, you know how to dress, you know what looks good on you, and you make it work. You implement pieces of that every day when you're getting yourself ready, even if it's just a little thing. People are saying that they never ever see you looking crusty. Even on days where like maybe you felt unwell or you haven't had that much sleep. What might surprise you is that people are saying like, but I've literally never ever seen Pal 3 looking bad. And they're saying Pal 3 couldn't look bad if they tried, because Pal 3 just has it like that. They're just this little pretty bitch no matter what. Like, nothing could make them look bad. And I think I referenced Jennifer's Body in Pal 1, and I'm going to reference it again because I love that film. It's a classic. But it's making me think of the scene where like they've tried to make Megan Fox look tired, and she does look tired. They've made her look paler, they've made her lips all crusty, but ultimately, like, that's still Megan Fox, you know? Like, there's no change in that. And it's the same thing with you. But there's something about you being committed to like a routine or ritual that helps with this. You definitely give the energy of like being high maintenance in terms of your routine so that you don't have to be high maintenance day to day. So maybe you get like your brows done, you get like waxes, or you get like a brow lift and tint or something like that, or you really take care of your skin. So then you don't have to like wear much makeup, or you don't have to do your brows or lashes every day in the morning. Not that you have to do that anyway, but it's just like something about you having prepared and thought about something before, so you don't have to worry about it on the daily. But some routine you've committed to, it's adding to your beauty and aura right now. People are saying that something you're doing is paying off. So yeah, it could be a skincare routine, it could be a fitness routine, it could be a particular makeup routine, it could be that you're eating well and you're glowing, something you've been doing day in, day out. It's making other people comment about your beauty. And even if it is just something you do on the daily that's part of your routine to make yourself feel better, like putting a swipe of mascara on before you go out the door, people are saying that it makes all the difference. But whatever ritual you're currently doing, keep doing it because it's working for you. It looks so good on you, pal 3. It could actually be even a beauty ritual in terms of magic, like glamour magic, if you do any kind of mirror work. If you don't know what that is or what I'm talking about, there are loads of videos about that on here. But yeah, it could be something about like mirror affirmations, the way you talk to yourself even, like you're shining from the outside in. But yeah, people are saying you definitely have a glow about you. I think people comment that you look very fresh-faced. You might be surprised by that because maybe some of you are like, you feel tired on certain days or you feel like you don't look your best, but people are always saying like you look really fresh-faced and glowy and youthful. Maybe you have like a particularly hydrating skincare routine right now and it's just making you highlighted in all the right places, like your cheekbones or just above your lips, you look glowy. People are magnetized by it. This one particular thing, whatever it may be, maybe some of the things I mentioned, it might not. It could be something completely different. You will know what it is as an individual, but something you have been doing is working, like something is elevating your beauty to that next level. I think they're asking how you did it. They want to know how they can get the same results, something like that. People, it's like they want to work really, really hard for the things you have. I'm hearing that you are an absolute nightmare for insecure people because you do not radiate any kind of insecure energy. And I'm hearing the phrase specifically return to sender. So if you feel like you're getting any kind of evil eye energy or anything like that, you could look up a specific ritual about like return to sender. Again, I'm sure this is something you can find online if you would like to. But there's something where like any evil eye that comes your way, it's almost like you have a force field to like block it and you return it right back and it only makes you like glow up more. Like you don't internalize anybody else's projection. It's almost like you take any kind of negative energy thrown your way and you're able to transmute it. Yeah, so any type of bad energy someone tries to throw at you, you send it right back to them. And you remain in your light and you just continue to shine. People are saying it's beautiful how much self-respect you have. You do not have to stoop to a level that is not in alignment with who you are. And it's a nightmare for people who want what you have and are jealous of your light and who want to get a rise out of you. A lot of people are just genuinely curious about how you do what you do and they're silently admiring you. So for some of you, it might be something that is very visibly noticeable, what you've been doing. And for others of you, it's just this shift over time in your overall confidence, maybe due to like these affirmations that you've been practicing over the weeks or months or years even. And with this bleeding tooth card, and maybe a couple of you, if you've had some dental work done or you've had issues with your teeth in the past and you've managed to get something to help with that, like braces or Invisalign, or even just going for more like regular dental work because you can afford that now or something, or maybe just you staying on top of your flossing or like a tooth whitener or something, this could be saying your teeth and smile look even more beautiful. I'm seeing like a really, really vibrant smile. You know, maybe if your teeth were a bit of an insecurity, now they're not, you are smiling more and people are thinking like pal 3 has a gorgeous smile, like they look beautiful when they're happy, because again it goes back to that thing about like people wanting to see you happy, people wanting to see you enjoying yourself. I'm sorry if you can hear dogs barking at any point, by the way. I try and edit that out of my videos. I do have dogs, but at the moment it's actually my neighbour's dog barking. I've shut all the windows, but when the neighbour's dog barks, it sometimes does set mine off and there's not much that I can do about it. I'll try and edit it out, but there's only so much I can like reduce the background noise without it having a negative impact on the audio. So I'm sorry if it's annoying. I'm also thinking with that bleeding tooth card, I know this isn't the nicest imagery, but I'm thinking of like, you know, if you were someone who has ever struggled with bad acne, maybe you've got your skincare game down, you found what works for you. Maybe it's something about natural products or plant-based products, but whatever you're doing, it's working. Like maybe you've healed your skin and you're just looking really glowing. And I know sometimes with acne, I do want to say it happens and it's nothing we are doing wrong. You know, sometimes it can be a hormone issue. Sometimes it can be from like having to wear a mask at work and things like that. But sometimes it takes like a bit of investigation before you figure out something that works. Sometimes you have to take something medicated, like if it's a fungal kind of thing. Sometimes you have to take something antibacterial. So I know it's not just always a case of like buying some expensive skincare. Like I know that doesn't work for everyone. Sometimes you have to see a clinician and it takes a while of investigating and blood tests and things to figure things out. But it can be a really, really difficult thing to experience because you're always hyper aware of it. And it's not just because you're self-conscious about how it looks. It's that things like cystic acne, like hormonal acne, can be incredibly painful. It can be very sore. So it's difficult to feel your best if you're having a flare-up of that kind of thing because you can just constantly feel it on your face. But if this is you and you haven't found something that works yet, I feel like you're going to, like you're in the process of finding something or you're along the right lines. And if you've never had an issue with acne or spots or anything like that, congratulations on being God's favourite and having naturally good skin. People are probably commenting on how beautiful your skin is generally and how jealous they are. So it could go either way. I just wanted to mention that for people who have struggled with spots or acne and they feel like they'll never have like naturally good skin. There is a way. Like I feel like you are finding a way, or that could have been something you struggled with in the past and now like you have got your routine figured out and you're like, yes, this works for me. And people are like, what did you do? Like, your skin is looking so good. For some of you, it could be going on the contraceptive pill. My skin has never ever been complimented more than when I was on the contraceptive pill. And I myself, I have a lot of like PMS issues. When I was younger, I had like hormone imbalances that needed looking into. So I have had like cystic acne before. I've had very painful acne before in the past. But yeah, when I was on the pill, I got like non-stop compliments the way I never have when I'm not on the pill now. I don't know why I'm oversharing that. Maybe I just feel comfortable with you, pal 3. But I remember when I got compliments, and that is not a reason to like go on the pill. But I'm just saying that if any of you have gone on the pill, you could have noticed, like, not that you went on it to clear your skin up. Maybe you just got in a new relationship and you decided to go on the pill as a form of contraception, which is what it's for, but then you notice your skin cleared up as well or something like that. Obviously, medication or anything like that, talk to a clinician. I know for some other people it has the complete opposite effect. I'm just talking from personal experience, something that I noticed that happened, but I did not go on it with the intention of like having good skin. That was just one good side effect. There were also lots of other bad side effects of it. Not demonizing the pill and also not saying it's the best thing ever. I think everyone should, you know, talk to their own clinician and get an opinion from somebody who actually has medical knowledge, because I don't. I'm just talking about my personal experience. Again, not saying the pill is bad or good. It has its pros and cons. It depends what works for the individual person. Always get advice from a clinician if you're thinking of anything like that. That just popped into my head because it was something that I noticed when I was on it. I was one of the people who was put on the pill when I was younger, not for contraception, but to regulate my periods because I had really heavy periods. And again, it's that thing of like being a woman and they don't really investigate like what the cause of this is. You're just told like, oh, go on the pill, this will help. So yeah, there could be something to do with like looking into your fertility or looking into your cycles or something like that being relevant. Anyway, that was a bit of a random rant about the pill. Don't know why. Doesn't have to be the pill, but yeah. A part of your beauty is you radiate this energy of unbotheredness. You have this aura about you that just denotes somebody who is like, I have bigger things to care about, like, don't involve me in your petty bullshit. And because we were getting, like, kind of that queen or goddess sort of energy, you give almost this vibe of, like, I have a kingdom to rule, I'm not getting involved in this argument between the jesters. People think something beautiful about you is that you protect and prioritise your peace, and this could be something you're still learning, pal 3. Some of you could identify as being, like, recovering people pleasers, Some of you could identify as being in a mode where you are still recovering from some sort of burnout with that Four of Swords reversed. But what people are saying is the beauty you are radiating right now, it's coming through more strongly because you're learning how to slow down. Like, you're learning how to pace yourself, how to spend time less focused on productivity and more on loving yourself and being in the moment. People think there's beauty in the way you're learning how to set boundaries and the way you are learning to prioritize self-care and in the things you are choosing to value. And that shows up in the way you operate day to day, not just in your physical self. But of course, this is a reading about your beauty, so it does show up in the physical too. But it just shows up in your aura. It's like you have this energy of sitting pretty and being like, I'm not letting any musty court jester stress me out. I'm living my best life. I'm living my softest life. You are radiating, like, if you're a woman, like soft girl energy. If you're a man, soft guy energy. Something like that. There's something about you that is so like heavily intertwined to softness and to sensory experience. People could take one look at you and without even touching you, they immediately know that you have the softest, most lotioned, most hydrated skin. They know that you don't have any dry patches because you take care of yourself. They know that you put your lotion on every night because you want to look after your skin barrier. People could say there's something absolutely beautiful about the way you smell too. People could say there's something beautiful about the way you sound, your voice, how you taste even. There's something about your beauty being a sensory experience in general, like you are a delight to all the senses. And there's something about you beautifying absolutely everything you touch. You could have a really soft and gentle and tender touch that draws people in. You could have a voice that's like silk and people hear you speaking and they're like, who is that? Like, where is that beautiful voice coming from? Some of you could sing, or you have some kind of attachment to music, or you can play an instrument. People just think you have a beautiful voice, or there's something very artistic about you. There's something very sweet about you too. I'm getting like sweet smells. It's as though people see you as like this lush, ripe fruit that they want to just pick off the tree and eat. They see you as absolutely delicious. People could say that there's something about your beauty that looks edible. You look edible, you look like a snack. If some of you wear milkmaid dresses, oh my god, people are obsessed with you in milkmaid dresses. They could eat you up. I'm hearing they could eat you up. I'm also seeing something about corsets. But yeah, there's also something addictive about this value and this respect you have for yourself. It shows up in your physical being. There's something about some of you investing in like quality pieces and it shows. So maybe like if you used to shop fast fashion, I'm not saying you did, I'm just saying this is an example. If you used to shop fast fashion, because maybe that's what you could afford. If you've like up-leveled some of your garments and now you're buying like quality garments over quantity, like instead of satin you buy silk or something like that, as just one example. Something about that shows, like there's something luxurious about your beauty, like you really adorn yourself with the very best of the best. Or even if some of your clothes like you got on sale and they actually wear really cheap, you look rich in some way. You look lavish. You look like you're not afraid to treat yourself because you know you deserve it. But yeah, there's something about you no longer letting something stress you out, and it shows and it makes you even more beautiful. So as an example, if we think back to a situation when you were stressed recently, like a bad job or a bad relationship or a bad habit, if you think back to a time when you weren't taking care of yourself due to an internal or external factor, the job, the relationship, the habit that you needed to break, or, you know, just a situation where you felt too emotionally invested in something that was actually unfulfilling, you felt like you were shouldering too much of the weight, you weren't getting back what you put in. When you finally detached from that and you learned how to refocus back on yourself, you went through this huge glow up. And every time you do that, you go through these glow ups. You know, it's making me think of like how someone glows up after a breakup. So that could apply to you, but it doesn't have to be a breakup. It could be like just breaking up with something that was bad for you. And it feels like you're in this energy where people are really noticing like pile 3 is back aligned with themselves and they're flourishing. They're blossoming, they're nurturing themselves, they've got back into this flow with themselves, and it's shining from the inside out. It comes from the inside first, but it's also evident on the outside. It feels like the way you're taking care of your body, your mind, your spirit is radiating on the outside. Some of you, it's like you were stuck in this situation for too long, and what was like the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak, it was you looking in the mirror and saying like, hey, this is actually making me ugly, like this situation is making me ugly, it has to end. Like that was the final straw for you. So it could be when you started experiencing like health issues, and you looked in the mirror, or you just didn't like what you were seeing. It doesn't have to be in a physical way, but it could just be like, oh, the life is drained from my eyes due to this situation. Like my spirit isn't shining how it usually does. And it's not that you were actually ugly or anything like that, because you never could be. Like, I just don't think that's possible for you, pal 3. But it's almost this sense of like you looking at yourself and being like, I'm so overwhelmed and burnt out and stressed by this that it's got me acting like not like myself. It's got me out of my usual routines, not able to take care of myself, not able to invest in myself. You know, maybe it's you saying this situation has got you like eating unhealthy, or just not having time to look after you. Maybe you're like, oh, it's breaking me out in rashes from stress. And, you know, on a soul level, you felt like it was just chipping away at your light. And that was the final straw, because you were like, oh no, like nobody chips away at my light. And you came back and you got it back full force. And now it's coming back better than ever, and it's really beaming and radiating from all of your pores. And there's no going back, because you've learned how to live in this new way and what to prioritize. But also, like, funnily enough, with this 10 of Wands, I know the card has nothing to do with this, but I just keep looking at her butt. Like, her butt is standing out to me. And I think people do notice your beauty from behind, you know, like they hate to see you leave, but they love to see you walk away. I'm also noticing like a lot of long hair on these pictures, so that could be relevant. Maybe some of you have been working on growing your hair and you're getting a lot of compliments behind your back about that. You don't have to have long hair, but, you know, abundance is making me think of having a lot of something. So some of you could have a lot of hair, or, you know, maybe people are saying you have this beautiful princess hair that goes all the way down your back, or you have this certain hair care routine where your hair is looking really healthy and silky smooth. You have this aura where it's like whatever you touch, you can make it better. You can make it glow. You can put your light into it and elevate it in some way. You can upgrade it. There's something about you being beautiful because you still believe in magic. I'm getting this idea of like a fairy tale or a Disney princess or prince, that kind of beauty. You could get told you look like a particular Disney princess or prince. I'm seeing these big Bambi-like eyes. I'm also seeing a cottagecore kind of dress sense for some of you. You have this beauty about you where it's just evident you are not going to settle for less. And there's something about you romanticizing these everyday aspects of your life, or you finding joy and beauty in the mundane, and that makes you even more beautiful. There's something where, like, even if you understand that bad things happen in the world, there's this beauty in the fact that you haven't allowed it to make you a cynic, or you haven't allowed it to take away from you shining. You will never like give anyone or anything the power to take that away from you. So you are like cynical people's worst nightmare in a way. You are also, I'm getting something about you're holding out for a life that's from a fairy tale. You don't want to minimize your expectations to make anyone else comfortable. You could find that animals and children particularly are very, very drawn to you. You could find that babies stare at you for a long time. I'm seeing this image of someone like smiling and waving at a cute baby, and the baby is just absolutely transfixed. And I do hear that that tends to happen with very beautiful people. So that just confirms that you are beautiful if that happens to you. I'm almost viewing your energy as like this good nature witch who lives in a cottage near a forest and wears like flowy dresses and feeds the birds every morning and sings to the animals. And the animals all gather around you, and you make like jams and preserves, and you walk into the nearest town and you give them out and just spread your love and joy. I keep hearing something about sweetness and about fruits and maybe like sweet jam or something. So if that's a way you would like to live, I just want you to know that you fully embody that energy already. Like if that sounds like your dream to just go off the grid and live in a cottage and make jams or something, you are already radiating the energy of that. It doesn't have to be jams, it could be like you making skincare stuff, like natural body butters or lotions or something, or like wax melts. Some of you just give the energy of someone who I could imagine just living like your best little Animal Crossing life, but in real life. Or the Sims cottage living, like I picture that for you. I picture you having chickens and just collecting eggs in a little apron and being a friend to all the creatures. You are everything I want to be, pal 3. Like this is my dream. I have chickens. I love chickens, but I live in a really rough area. I don't live in a nice little cottage yet. So maybe I'm just projecting, like this is what I want for myself. But yeah, you radiate sweetness. You're definitely not someone who is afraid to give a compliment. You know, particularly if you're a woman, you're not afraid to compliment other women. You are probably a nightmare for pick-me's because You do not let their internalized misogyny phase you, you know, especially if you're an individual who engages with behaviors or hobbies or presentation that is labeled more typically feminine. People tend to assume a lot about other people based on that. And people might have assumed things about you, and a lot of it is untrue. And I don't think you let it phase you. And, you know, that in itself is something people find really beautiful and admirable. But some people are so uncomfortable by your confidence in who you are that they're going to try and rattle you. And I think what you might find surprising is that people find it beautiful how you shut those people down in your own sweet way. I'm hearing in your own sweet way. And I'm picturing someone with a southern accent saying, like, bless your heart. I can't do accents, so I'm not going to do it, but that's what I'm hearing, like a southern accent and somebody saying, oh, bless your heart. So when people try to do that, there's something really beautiful about the way you know that you're too good for that. Like, you don't allow yourself to go down to their level. It's like you pack your punches in a neat little basket along with some sandwiches and cupcakes, and you tell them, like, here you go and feed your family. Essentially, your beauty is that you have this aura where you're like, focus on yourself, like, get your own shit together. Here, I'll even help you. Like, I'll help you, babe. And I'm hearing you can get people to do anything. I'm hearing some lyrics right now. I think it's a song by King Princess that's like, I'll rule with a velvet tongue and my dress undone. I think it's from Holy. I could be wrong. I've not heard it in a while. But it's sort of like your words are weapons, but only in the sense that you use them with softness to get everything and anything you want. I'm getting a lot of Libra energy with this pile as well. Maybe Libra, Cancer, Taurus could be significant. There is a delicateness and a deliberateness to your energy. I'm smelling strawberries and cream as well. There's something about that. You looking or smelling like a dessert to people. Maybe you wear gourmand fragrances. I think people are saying you look like you can cook too. Like, you look like you can make good food, season your food well. You have this aura where you make people feel right at home, and people find that beautiful and they want to be in your space longer. Maybe people think you look beautiful because you look like wifey or hubby material or something like that. And people just feel like they want to give you everything because you are going to make their lives better. Because again, anything you touch, you make it better, you elevate it. So they spend time with you and then they see this vision of this happy life with you. They know that whoever you're with and whoever you bless with your light and with your company, you are going to make that person better and the space around you better. They're going to know that whoever gets to be with you, you're going to make that person very, very happy. You could find that people tend to like fight over you, or they fight for your attention. You could find that people tend to like compete. People tend to yearn for your approval in some way. People who are low effort individuals might see you as a nightmare because they know that you just have so much going for you that you're not going to be that easy to impress. Like, they have to step up. They have to have something substantial to offer. They have to have something to bring to the table because you just have so much. You could tend to find that people want to like wife you up quite early on, or they want to lock you down, or they want to start talking about serious things fairly quickly. People might want to kind of snatch you up because they feel like you're someone they could have a happy home with. I'm hearing you're beautiful because you're blessed, highly favored, and living in your abundance. And it's almost like you have this halo of light around you. People could look at you and be like, oh, I know I'm going to get taken care of good if I'm with pal 3. It's giving me like hot mummy or daddy vibes, like MILF or DILF vibes. But also people want to take care of you. They want to see you getting pampered. You just look like you're worth a lot. You look like you're worth a lot of everything, a lot of effort. You're worth spending time on, money on, attention on. People could think that you're very tempting. There is something like naturally seductive about your beauty. You have the type of beauty where people who shouldn't like you do. They're saying that you're too tempting. So again, it's almost that imagery of like you being the fruit that people want to pick off the tree, but some people almost feel like it's forbidden fruit. So people, you know, who might be the same sex as you are like, damn, I thought I was straight, but pal 3 has me questioning my whole schmexuality. Like, it could be someone saying, you know, I would never consider sleeping with another man or woman, but with pal 3, maybe I would go there, you know. Like, they just exude so much of this natural smexiness that it has people feeling that way in a way they never have. There's something about your mouth or your lips. They look really kissable. They look soft. You might wear a particular gloss or a balm, but people want to put their mouth on you. You could have been asked, like, by even straight friends of yours. It's like straight friends, when they get drunk, they want to kiss you or something like that. Or it could even be someone who's like, oh, I'm married. And, you know, even if they're a loyal person and they would never do anything, there's something tempting about you where they kind of turn their head and it takes them a while to look away or something like that. or, you know, in a work setting, maybe people get crushes on you when they're not supposed to, or, you know, friends who have been friend-zoned get crushes on you. They find themselves thinking about you a lot, like, shit, I probably shouldn't, but I do. Like, I'm crushing on pal 3 very, very hard. You get people in their feelings about that and feeling like you're the forbidden fruit and that they're doing something that they shouldn't. I'm getting something about traditional dresses. You look really beautiful in traditional dresses, or maybe some specific traditional cultural wear. Some of you look like little forest fairies. But yeah, that is what I'm getting for your reading, pal 3. I really, really hope you enjoyed this reading today. If you did like the reading, please give this video a like. Please comment if you get a chance, let me know what resonated. Even if it's just one tiny little thing, that would help me and help this channel so, so much. And on a personal level, I just really enjoy hearing about the little tiny things that resonated. And I really enjoy hearing from you guys. Please sub if you haven't done so already. Again, that would mean the world to me and I would just appreciate it so, so much. With all of that said, I just want to thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for taking time out of your day to listen. Take care and I will see you in the next one, pal 3. Hi pal 4 collective. If you chose the Queer Tarot and you chose the Flower Dog sticker, you are in the right place. Welcome to your reading, friends. If you would like a full reading breakdown, please check out my introduction. I go through absolutely everything there. I will also leave some details in the pinned comment below for your reference, so check that out so you know what to expect today. But today's reading is titled Surprising Observations Other People Make About Your Beauty, Aura and Magnetism. So what do people notice that you might not? What do people think is beautiful and magnetic about you and your aura that you might not even be aware of? Usual disclaimer, this is a collective reading and not every detail is going to resonate for you, nor would I expect it to. Please take what's for you and leave the rest for somebody else. You do not have to accept anything as your story if it simply isn't. If you're finding that a pile or this reading generally is not for you, no worries, it's a free reading on the internet and I am not holding you hostage here. If you want to give this one a miss, you're more than welcome to, and you'd be more than welcome back anytime. We're going to be using oracle cards and tarot cards for your reading today, and I'm very excited to get started. Don't worry if not all of the cards are in frame at first. I am using a lot of cards today, and with the other piles I've been struggling to get everything in frame, so it might not be the best angle, but my focus is getting all the cards in frame. So don't worry if they're not at first. I will lay them and then I will check the camera, and I'll do as much as I can to make sure that you and I can see everything that we need to be seeing. I know some of you guys just listen to these in the background and you're not too bothered, but yeah, I do want to try and get everything in frame if I can. Anyway, I love doing these hype you up readings, so I really hope you love this one too. Thank you so much for being here and spending this time with me, and without any further hesitation, let's get started with your reading today, pal 4. I'm going to pop your dog sticker over here for now. I'm just going to pop your tarot cards down here, and we're going to start off by looking at your oracle cards to begin with. So from the Mushroom Oracle, we have number 26, Red Cage, Capture. From the Wild Whiskers, we've got Brave Bat, Perception, Change, Flexibility. Sacred Messenger of the Night, grant me courage to face the dark inside. Oh, those bats are so cute. From the Blooming Cats Tarot, we have got Capricorn. You do not have to be a Capricorn, by the way, for this to be your pile. Obviously, it's extra confirmation if you are, or if there's heavy earth energy in your chart, but this is just about the overarching energy, so that doesn't have to be the case. But we've got hardworking, disciplined, loyal, stubborn, workaholic, stoic, December 22nd to January 19th. Element is Earth, ruling planet is Saturn, Major Arcana card is the Devil, stones are garnet and lapis lazuli, colours are black and brown, lucky numbers are 5, 6 and 8, flowers are carnations and pansies. From the Panther Oracle, we've got number 6, Marriage, Sweet Love, Couple, Dependency. Your beauty makes people want to marry you, pal 4. We've got Blossom, very pretty. That's from the Affirmations of Fairy Cats. From the Green Witch Oracle, we have got number 1, Clarity, Carrot. From the Mermaids Oracle, we've got Coral's Wisdom, Colony, Delicacy, Fragility, works that are created over great periods of time. And we have got Divine Wisdom, I trust my inner wisdom and know that it guides me towards my highest good. And then for your tarot cards, pal 4, we have got the World, we've got the 8 of Cups, we have got the 2 of Pentacles, we've got the 6 of Cups, we've got the Page of Wands, we've got the High Priestess, we've got the Moon, And we've got the Ace of Pentacles. It's been so hard for me to get all the cards in frame, especially with the tarot decks that are quite big. This is why I tend to do my readings like where we're looking at just one or two cards at a time. But for this reading, I thought it was important to kind of like include the whole overarching story. So that's why I've done it like this. But I'm sorry if the camera is a little bit like all over the place. Hopefully you can see all of the cards at least. Obviously feel free to pause the video if you want to look at the imagery a bit closer. With the World card, the first confirmation that I wanted to mention was like some of you could have like a very even distribution of energy throughout your chart. So maybe you have like a good mixture of fire, earth, air, water in your chart, something about it being distributed evenly. I know like when you do your birth chart on astro charts or something like that, I know when I've done my chart before, it'll say something like, oh, the planets are distributed evenly among XYZ or something like that. So there could be something like that in your chart. Obviously earth energy is coming through as prominent. I'm also getting something about you looking really beautiful in lingerie. So I don't know if there's any like kind of fancy lingerie that you wear, but that's something that stood out to me with the World card. Some of you could also have your septum pierced and you look beautiful with that. That won't apply for everyone. That's just one little confirmation for somebody here. You might look really good in colourful attire because these cards are very, very beautiful and very colourful. This is one of my favourite decks to use. I'm seeing something about like colourful patterns, clothing with colourful patterns, something about gingham as well, maybe a gingham dress. Now, I do often like to start these readings by mentioning the numbers on the cards. These numbers could be relevant to you in terms of an age, a date, a life path, a month, an astrological house, or the sign associated with that house. These numbers do not have to apply for this to be your pile. It's just a little bit of extra confirmation for specific individuals. So the numbers 26, 6, and 1 might be relevant to you, pile 4, or maybe those numbers individually. So another message that immediately popped into my head as I was laying your cards at pile 4 is that there's something very beautiful about this dual nature that you possess. And I keep hearing this phrase specifically about your aura. This just keeps being repeated, and it's this phrase, it's saying danger wrapped up in a pretty package. And I noticed on this Coral's Wisdom card, the word fragile is mentioned, and it made me think of that quote. I'm sure you will have heard of it. It's kind of cheesy, but I feel like this is somehow relevant to your energy, pile 4. And it's that quote that's like, she wasn't fragile like a flower, she was fragile like a bomb. And what's interesting too is that you picked that sticker. I know you can't see it now, but you picked the sticker of the dog inside the flower. And it just made me think of you almost giving this aura of someone who appears harmless but could be dangerous. Because we all love dogs, like they're cute, they're friendly, but also dogs can be dangerous. We know that they can bite. I don't think this doggy would. This looks like a good boy or a good girl. And I don't think you would bite unless you have too powerful, but there's definitely something about that being a theme of your energy, something about you like kind of keeping people on their toes. Because on the one hand, there's something like very just pretty, like I don't know how else to explain it, pretty and delicate and graceful and almost coquettish about your beauty. But then on the flip side, there's also this energy of like, oh, something more under the surface. I don't know whether I want to say it's danger, but there's definitely some sense of like, you could be like this secret criminal mastermind and nobody would ever know because it's wrapped up in this pretty little package, like it's wrapped up in a neat little bow. And sometimes you might even kind of play into that persona. You give this vibe of like, who, me? Little old me? Like, little innocent me? No, I could never, but there's something like bubbling under the surface. I keep hearing this phrase about behind your eyes. I'm also thinking of the show Behind Her Eyes. I think I watched it on Netflix a few years ago. I think it was also a book from what I remember. I don't know if I've read it, but maybe behind her eyes is significant. But there's something about behind your eyes specifically. You give this aura of very much like knowing more than you let on, and people are very drawn to that. And I'm also hearing that like part of your beauty is in the illusion, but it's not so much an illusion as it is you just being able to embody like both or multiple sides of something. I'm kind of getting a similar energy with you as I did a little bit in pile 1. So if you were attracted to that pile and you think you might have messages there, it's possible. But I think in pile 1 we mentioned something about like femme fatale kind of energy, and it's a little bit like that. I am getting that here, but this feels more layered in some way. It feels like something else mixed in with it. You know, Capricorn is associated with the devil card in tarot, and so it's making me think of someone being sweet, but kind of having this like evil streak at the same time. But when I say evil, it's not in like a serious way. It's more in this tempting way, this way that's like, oh, you look so innocent, but I can see you have this other side to you. This is a really random message coming through. I'm just like looking at all the pink and looking at all the flowers on these cards. If you have female anatomy, you could have been told that your female anatomy is very pretty, or people who have been with you think that your anatomy is very pretty. I don't know why I'm thinking of that. I'm looking at the flowers and I don't know why that's coming through. I'm sorry if that's not for you, pal 4. But people think you look good when you're naked, when you're clothed, when you're in lingerie. Like, you can do it all. But yeah, back to the thing about you being like sweet but evil. It's like you have a little bit of a naughty side, or a little bit of a side where you're not afraid to dive into the dark or be a bit villainous, but only when you need to be. And it's not villainous in the way of you doing wrong to people, but I think it's more like you kind of keep people guessing and you know more than you let on, but you also kind of play innocent. So it's almost this sense of like the cute girl or guy next door who everybody wants to ask to the school dance, and that's who you are on a surface level, but then you have this like secret bad girl or bad guy side, something like that. And there's something about both versions being beautiful, like you're tough and delicate at the same time, and people really like that you have both. That's part of your beauty. And they like when one side comes out, especially the bad side, or this cheeky or mischievous, playful kind of side. I'm thinking of the song How Bad Do You Want Me by Lady Gaga right now. I'm also thinking of the song, I don't know if this has come through on my readings before, it might have done. It was a banger back in the day, but I'm thinking of the song Not Such an Innocent Girl. I think it's by Victoria Beckham, of all people. Like, I don't know. I feel like I've not heard that song in years, but I want to listen to it now. But I don't know, it could be when people see you being a little bit spicy. It's almost this sense of they are taken off guard because, again, you have this sort of sweet, innocent, butter wouldn't melt appearance, exterior, but maybe beneath that, there's this other side where, like, maybe, for example, you have, like, this super dirty or dark sense of humour. So I can imagine you having a serious conversation with somebody and then they say something that could be taken as, you know, maybe having a double meaning, like a double entendre. And I can imagine you just not being able to hold back your laughter, like you're giggling at it, or you're doing this kind of seductive little smirk or something like that. And they're almost shocked by it. They're like, "How for? I didn't expect that from you. Like, I didn't know you had such a dirty sense of humour." It doesn't have to be that example, but it's something along those lines. But it makes you like all the more schmexy. It heightens the appeal. I'm also hearing this Lana Del Rey song, but it's one from years ago. You're coming through with all the bangers today, pal, for the songs that keep popping up for you. But yeah, this Lana Del Rey song, the lyrics are something about like sweet serial killer. Now I'm also hearing Chemtrails Over the Country Club, so Lana Del Rey generally could be significant. Specifically the lyrics where she's like, "I'm on the run with you, my sweet love." There's something about your aura and your beauty where you kind of remind people of like their childhood sweetheart or their long lost love, but it's with an edge. There's an edge to it. You have the kind of beauty where people look at you and they want to just like run off into the sunset with you, but there's also this sense of danger or like, oh, but we're doing something risky. The vibes you give off are very, like I said, good girl, good guy, but with a bad girl or bad boy edge. I don't know how to explain it. And you might not feel that way, but you know, this is about other people interpreting your beauty and aura. So I'm just telling you what's coming through in the best way I can describe it, which probably isn't the best way ever, but I'm trying, pal, for. But yeah, it's something with your energy where you're part like golden retriever and part black cat. But the black cat is just a little bit hidden under the surface. So there's something about you that's like very bubbly and friendly, or what you see is what you get. But when people get talking to you, it's kind of like, oh, like there's a little more to you than meets the eye. Like, what's going on behind your eyes, behind that gaze? It's very mysterious. It definitely gets people wanting to see past some kind of illusion. It feels like there are certain instances where you kind of have this mask or guard up, and it's this kind of agreeable exterior, but there's like a little bit of don't F with me going on under the surface. And you don't have to have any kind of Capricorn placements for this to resonate, as I said from the very beginning. But I myself, I can kind of relate to this in some way, not in the exact same way, but I myself am a Capricorn rising, so I do understand this to a degree. I'll give like my own example because it might relate for some of you. And I think I've used this example in one of my readings before, so I'm sorry if this is the second time you're hearing this. But I personally, I would say I'm quite a shy, quite reserved person when I first meet people. I think I do better in one-on-one situations. Like, I would say I can make friends easily and start yapping non-stop when it's like one-on-one. But in group situations, I can be quite socially awkward, socially inept. I'm probably not going to be the one talking the most. I'm probably not going to be the one showing too much of my personality until I'm more comfortable with those people. So at work and things like that, let's say, I tend to just like keep myself to myself. But I find sometimes if someone makes a dirty joke in front of me or they swear in front of me or something like that, sometimes they'll say like, "Oh, sorry, nosy witch," as if I would be offended by it or as if it would be too much for me, even if in my mind, like, I haven't even noticed what they've said or I think what they've said is pretty tame, or even if it's something where I'm like, don't even worry about that, like, I've said way worse in front of my friends. It's almost this sense of them like wanting to treat me like I'm this delicate flower, as though I've never sworn in my life, like I couldn't possibly hear bad language. I don't know what it is. I'm sure this doesn't happen to just me. I know sometimes it just happens to women generally, so it could be just a case of that. I know some men have this old-fashioned view of like, oh, you should never swear in front of a woman or things like that, so maybe it's that, I don't know. But there could be some element of people treating you I wanted to say like you're a delicacy, but I didn't mean that. Maybe I did, who knows. But like you're delicate, like you need to be handled with care. Maybe you're delicate but also a delicacy. Or maybe there's something about you being like exotic or looking like you're from a different culture. There's something about you being foreign, because I'm thinking of the phrase now like a foreign delicacy. Like you don't get this anywhere else. Maybe there's something about your beauty that's like that. But yeah, there's almost this sense of people sometimes treating you like you need to be handled with care, like you're this fragile item. But at the same time, there's also a feeling of like, oh, but powerful could handle me or actually outdo me. I'm hearing the phrase outdo me. So whether it's in terms of like dark humour or sarcasm or outwitting someone or shocking the other person with this other side of you, there's this weird juxtaposition of people like encountering your beauty and feeling like it makes them feel safe, but also slightly on edge and unsafe with you at the same time. And I don't mean unsafe as in you are making them feel unsafe for some reason. It's more like they can't fully grasp who you are or they can't fully figure that out. But your appearance, your mannerisms, how you make them feel, it's all very warm and inviting, and there is something about it that makes them feel like nostalgic. Again, you remind them of this long-lost sweetheart, and on the one hand, there's a lot of playfulness and butterflies and being cute and sweet, but then there's also this little hint of like, oh, but is this a false sense of security? Like, am I in dangerous territory here? And I don't think it's danger like in the physical sense. Maybe it's more in an emotional sense. It's kind of this feeling of you're always one step ahead or you know more than you let on, so there's a danger to this idea that you could have people eating out of the palm of your hand. I think that's the thing, because who you are on the surface, it would be easy for some people to assume like you're the one who could be tricked or led astray or manipulated in some way, because this persona that you kind of play into, it's like you let people think that because you know better. You're kind of like, oh, you can think that if you want. But the people who see through the illusion, it's like they look into your eyes and they're like, yeah, Powerful knows more than they let on. Like, they have some secrets and yeah, they're the sweet person, but they could actually probably trick me more than I could trick them. There's a kind of like wiseness to it. Like, people can sense that part of your beauty is like you have more experience than what you let on. And I don't know, it feels dangerous because there's this aura that you have where you could get anyone to do anything you want, but you'd also make them think that it was their idea. I'm getting some maybe Libra energy from this pile, maybe Sagittarius too, although that doesn't have to apply. Some of you could speak multiple languages and that's part of your beauty. I don't know why that's coming through. But yeah, with this like dichotomy between being sweet and being like evil, which you're not, that's just like a placeholder word for a better word that I can't think of right now. But I just want to reiterate, you're not giving any kind of aura of like, I'm going to be evil for no reason, like I'm going to play mind games for no reason. but it's more like you have this aura where you radiate someone who's like, I could be the sweetest sweetheart, or I could be your worst nightmare depending on how you treat me. And it does all depend on how someone treats you. And if they wrong you, God forbid, they don't want to know what happens next. But as long as they're good to you, you're going to be good to them. But you do still have that aura of like being mischievous, or like you could play pranks on somebody. Kind of trickster energy. Gemini could be significant to this pile too. I want to say you kind of entice people into getting into trouble with you. You have this aura that feels like you're always inviting people on a new adventure. A part of your beauty is you radiate this energy that kind of says to people, wherever you go with me, it's going to be fun. Like, I'm going to make it fun. I'm also hearing it's the ride of your life. Some of you could have this slight way about you. You come across as a little bit of an adrenaline junkie or a thrill seeker, or you are the thrill. You are the thrill. That's what I'm hearing. That's part of your beauty. Maybe it's with the things you say, like you shock people, you just surprise people, and that is part of the beauty. But there is something about you being brave with that brave bat. You have this energy where you would like stick up your hand and be like, I'll do it first, or I'll try this, or I'll volunteer for something, and you're not scared. There's something about you always being the first to put your hand up. And people find beauty in the braveness and the forwardness of that. Because maybe sometimes it could be like something that's considered a little bit dangerous, a little scary, and you're not afraid to do it. And lots of people admire that. I'm getting a random example. I can imagine like if you went on a trip to the zoo, you know, sometimes they'll let you hold the snakes or something. I can imagine you being the type to be like, I'll be the first to hold the snake or something. So when I say dangerous, I don't mean like life-threatening. I just mean like new experiences, I suppose. Maybe things that other people might be like a bit more reluctant to do. There's something about this beauty you're radiating that makes people view you as a long-term investment. There's something about you captivating people and them wanting to lock you down or something along those lines. In fact, you may find at times people who are attracted to you actually do not approach you or do not pursue you, because I'm almost seeing like this protective barrier, like an invisible barrier, and it kind of says to people like, this one is off limits because they're for the best of the best. So if people aren't approaching you from that place of kind of like meeting you at your level or being the best versions of themselves, it's almost like they eliminate their own selves from the race due to this protective barrier. It's them almost deciding like, I'm not even going to bother because I know I won't get anywhere, that sort of thing. So maybe people with unserious intentions, like if that doesn't match your energy, those people don't even bother approaching you at this stage because your beauty just radiates like, I am worth so much more than whatever it is you're trying to give me. So they don't try and give you it at all. It's like people are looking at your beauty and they're like, that one, like pile 4, they're meant for more. Like they're saying they're wifey, they're hubby material. I'm not even going to mess with them until I'm at their level. There's something I want to say like unattainable about your energy. Like people can't quite get through. It's like people can only be in your space if they've met this certain level. So sometimes people talk themselves out of talking to you if they don't quite feel at that level. Even if they want to talk to you, it's really weird. This is really weird because, you know, my belief is that other people's behaviour has very little to do with us, to be honest. And I want to make a point of saying that because if you have been approached disrespectfully by people with the wrong intentions in the past, that isn't because you have done or you are doing anything to make them behave that way. People are responsible for their own behaviour, and I know this isn't a gendered issue. I'm sure this applies to everyone. But speaking from my experience as a woman who goes out in public, I've experienced things like catcalling or being touched inappropriately and unsolicitedly, you know, people not taking no for an answer. And this happens regardless of what you're doing or not doing. Like, it happens to women whether we are wearing bikinis or burqas. It happens whether we're 14 or 41. People sometimes just have their own desires and they act on it and they don't consider anyone else. And that's why I actually find it really funny when like British men are romanticised in media. Nothing against British men. Obviously, I'm British myself. But you know what I mean? Like, there's that one type of British accent that's heavily romanticised and people just talk about how dreamy it is. And it's this posh British accent that's like, you are my divine flower, my radiant queen. I would move heaven and earth to catch a whiff of your toes through your stockings. But if you were ever to come here, you'd be so disappointed because most of the time you're a woman, you're just walking down the street and the most eloquent compliment you're going to hear is someone saying like, or we love nice tits. Oh my god, this reminds me of something. I have to give another example. I'm sorry. This happened maybe a year or two ago. I can't quite remember, but I was walking one of my dogs at this nearby park, and this park, it has a little play area and a basketball area, and there's always groups of kids, teens, pre-teens congregating there. I also do not live in the best area. It is important to note it's a bit of a rough area. The children here are feral, and I can't say anything about that. I'm not judging, because I was once a child who was also feral, and I used to get up to God knows what. But yeah, you get like even a lot of, you know, primary school age children like drinking, smoking, vaping, doing stuff they shouldn't, basically. Anyway, I was walking past this group of kids with my dog. This boy, he couldn't have been older than 10, shouts over, and he says, at first, he's like, "Oh, your dog's cute." And then he makes this joke like, "Oh, can I take her home with me?" And I think I just glanced up briefly and did the like polite British person smile and was like, "Oh no, sorry, she's mine." And I say that as I'm like walking past them. And this boy who sat with his group of friends from somewhere behind me now, without missing a beat as I'm walking past, shouts, "Well, can I take you home instead?" And I just didn't know what to do with that. Audacious. That one was more funny than anything. But my point is, with this powerful, when it comes to your energy, it's like a lot of people want to say these kinds of things to you and they want to try it with you, but then they kind of get scared and they back off. You could be finding that more and more, like people back down to you more than they used to. You might even catch people like who keep staring at you, but they don't have the audacity to actually say something. Like, you make eye contact and you feel as if they're going to say something, and you might even notice this moment where they like talk themselves out of it. And particularly if you sense there's going to be any kind of disrespect, it's almost like your eyes bore into their soul and there's something that's saying to them like, "Oh, go on, try me." And then they back down because they know that you're going to put them in their place. There's something about you, like you give this aura like you can exert discipline. Like you're all sweetie sweetie on the surface, but like I think you could put somebody in their place. Oh my god, I'm hearing you could put someone over your knee and spank them. It's almost like you kind of have daddy energy or like strict parental energy. It's something that says don't mess with me, but it's weird because on the surface you might not come across as like intimidating looking or anything like that, but it's this certain look that you have where people just don't want to like fuck with you because they're kind of scared of what you'll say back. But yeah, there's something beautiful about the way you can tell people off, or you can get them to back down, or you can exert your authority. People seeing you as like a bit of an authority. I'm also seeing people sort of locked in a trance with you, and they're saying something about you being out of pocket and something about you staring them down, but there's something so schmexy about it. But at the same time, they're like gulping or they're trying to avert their eyes and they're like, "Oh shit, I'm not going to say what I wanted to say." Like they're saying they want to be naughty in front of you, but they can't. I think they're saying there's something beautiful about the way you be able to show them up. Like if someone catcalled you or someone sent you like a unsolicited picture or something like that, I can imagine you saying something to absolutely humiliate them and tear them to shreds, and they know that you're capable of that. So sometimes they don't. They're like, "Oh, I'm going to get knocked down a peg if I do that with Power 4. But some people, oh, it's almost like they'd get off on being humiliated by you. There's something where you can make people feel like they're a child again, or you make them feel small, but only when it's deserved. Like if they're rude to you, for example. There's something about your strictness. There's something beautiful about the way you look that stuns people into silence. It's like you have this expression that you give people if they say something a bit funny to you. Like people can come at you sideways and you look at them and without saying anything, you can tell that your face is like, "What did you just say to me?" And it puts them in their place, but people kind of like it. They're kind of into it. They kind of want to get told off by you. Maybe some people just have like a humiliation kink and they want you to tell them off or shout at them or be strict or be assertive. There could be something like people with degradation kinks are drawn to you, or some of you could recognize yourself as having one of these kinks yourself. It could be like, some of you guys might have like a cross between a praise and a degradation kink, like somewhere in the middle. Somebody here likes being called good girl, something along those lines. I don't know why that's coming through. I'm so sorry. It's not that kind of reading. I don't know what's wrong with these messages today. But yeah, people kind of think twice before crossing you. That's what I wanted to say. You make them think twice because you're not afraid to go there. Like when you want to go there, you'll go there. And There's beauty in the way that you will allow yourself to go there and you'll allow yourself to say something that's going to shut people down when they need to hear it. Some people find it hot, surprisingly hot. It could be something to do with when you have like a strict or serious voice on. It could be like a telephone voice, or when you have to boss people around. Somebody likes that. I'm hearing somebody say like, yes, miss, or yes, sir. I don't know, there's something sexy about your face when you mean business. There's something beautiful about it. Maybe you're somebody's boss, somebody's manager, maybe you're in a leadership position. There's something like you don't necessarily look like you could dominate somebody, but you could, like, people can imagine that. I'm hearing that your beauty captures the attention of many, but it's almost like people know they're going to get lost in it, or people know you're going to like trap them, not by something you've actively done, but more like people are saying they can tell with you that because of your beauty, they're not going to be able to help falling for you. It's like they look at you and they're saying, no, I can't. Like, literally, they look like the person of my dreams. Like, they look like my childhood crush. They look like somebody I would be head over heels for. And they know that just one look at your face and you're going to have them falling hard, and they're going to want to give you everything that you want. They're going to be able to like not say no to you. You have the kind of beauty that people can't say no to. And some people can't handle it, so they just stay away entirely. Others, they know what they want and they know it's you, and they immediately know it's for the long haul. So when they go after you, it's with like intention. So maybe on the opposite side to people avoiding you, you get people trying to lock you down too quickly. I wouldn't be surprised, Pal 4. Like, it would not surprise me at all if you've had more than one person, multiple people proposing to you in the past, or like at least trying to initiate some kind of commitment with you, like kind of trying to rush into it a bit. They know they want to snatch you up. You give this energy of being highly in demand. I'm hearing you're a catch. Like, people look at you and they're saying they are the literal catch of the day. And people could say about your beauty, like, oh, you know, whoever has the privilege of calling Pal 4 theirs is a very lucky person. People could want to make you theirs very quickly. People could even get a little bit possessive over you. A lot of people assume, even if you're single, that you're so gorgeous that you must have someone. They're like, Pal 4 is so gorgeous that somebody must have married them, somebody must have snatched them up already. So a lot of people could already assume that you're like locked down with somebody or you're in a relationship. People could be saying like, what's the catch? Because Pal 4 is literally perfect. So if they're single, like, what's the catch? Or something like that. Which I know, like, sometimes you're just single because you want to be single, and that is absolutely fine. Sometimes there's no catch. Sometimes people just don't want to be in a relationship, and that's okay. But this is about what other people are thinking. They're asking like, what's the catch? So somebody could have said that to you before. I can definitely imagine you, regardless of any of that, I can imagine you being the type of girlfriend or boyfriend who exes remember forever. And some of your exes might sort of beautify you in their mind because you are almost like the one that got away. Once you're in someone's life, it's like your energy captures their heart forever in some way. A little piece of you stays with them forever. People feel like they're often entranced by your beauty. They're under your spell. They don't always know why. Maybe sometimes people feel like it's magic. Other times it's just this weird sense of nostalgia or something familiar, but it's like familiar and unfamiliar at the same time. It's this deep sense of comfort, but again, with that edge. There's something about people feeling this undeniable chemistry when they lock eyes with you, but it's really hard to explain. I'm getting like an electric shock, jolt of electricity, buzzy kind of feeling. There's something unusual about it. I'm also like getting ringing in my ears. There's something about that. I'm getting like heaviness in my chest. So people, they feel your aura in their chest as soon as they lay eyes on you, and they feel this chemistry. It's the type of beauty that people remember forever because there's this profound feeling that's associated with it. And it's this mix between butterflies, that crush feeling you might experience in youth, plus this weird excitement of being on the very edge of discovering something new, something dangerous, something you've never done before. It's almost this feeling of like the first time you kiss someone, or the first time you are like physically intimate with somebody where you don't know what you're doing, but you're so eager to do it. You give people that feeling. So familiarness and newness combined, that's the energy that you give off. It invites people in and it pushes them away, only when they're not ready for it though. You probably capture people's attention without trying and without wanting to. There's something beautiful about the way that you move. It could be the way that you dance. It could be that when you're dancing, you get really lost in it. For some of you, maybe you go to raves, or there's something about you getting lost in the music at a rave. That's not for everyone. The colours of these cards are just kind of reminding me of like flashing light, raves, something psychedelic, and trance. We kept getting the word trance, so like trance music or something. But it doesn't have to be a rave or anything like that. It could just be like if you do ever go out dancing, there's something about you like closing your eyes and getting completely lost in it. And people might observe you and you're doing it like there's almost nobody else around. I'm seeing you in the spotlight and I'm seeing somebody dancing almost in like a cage in the middle of the dance floor. It's like you're in your own world, totally lost to the music, but people around you, they can't get to you. Again, you're unattainable. Like lots of people want to approach you, but they feel like they can't because you're in this cage. There's something about your beauty that feels pure and untouchable, and I think that's why sometimes people back away. It's like sometimes they feel as though they're gonna ruin the divineness of your beauty. It's almost like maybe because you don't want to attract attention, people think that them making a point of their attention being on you would like cheapen the moment. So if we give that example of you dancing, maybe you're with your friends and you're just so lost in the moment having fun in your own world. It's like people are satisfied watching your beauty from afar. They don't always have to come up to you and tell you like, oh hey, I just wanted to tell you like you look really good dancing, I love the way you move, because that might kind of like snap you out of this trance. It might make you become self-conscious or more reserved. It's like people are just happy to let you be who you are and express that from afar. People are just content getting to watch even if they don't tell you about it. There's something about your spine or your back being beautiful, the way it curves. I'm looking at this image. Some of you could look really good in backless dresses or dresses that show some part of your back. Some of you could have like a tattoo down your spine, or there's something about like jewelry as well, like jewelry dangling down your back. I'm seeing like a chain. I don't know. There could be something beautiful about your posture and the way you carry yourself. Capricorn or Saturn dominant energy, I think I mentioned this in Pal 2, makes me think of great bone structure. People might think you have a gorgeous bone structure. I'm hearing something specifically about your nose, but it's like the bit of your nose between your eyes, or what's it called? Is it like the bridge of your nose? Something about the shape of your nose between your eyes. People think that's beautiful. I know that's specific, but some people like that area of your face. Some of you could have wide kind of owl-like eyes. Some of you could look really amazing in coral shades specifically. I'm also getting something about floral patterns, particularly a black outfit or a black dress that you have, but it has a floral pattern. Or it could be a shirt. I'm seeing black but floral, black but with floral. Or, you know, a springtime colour palette might really suit you. There's something about you looking like a spring queen. I'm seeing like not necessarily this film, but the aesthetics of Midsummer. I'm seeing a flower crown. People might view you as if you have this flower crown on. I'm also getting a sort of regal energy. Maybe Leo could be significant. Some people see your beauty as like you're from a royal bloodline or something like that. There could also be something about flower earrings or jewellery. You looking beautiful when you're decorated with flowers. Some of you could have strawberry blonde hair. There's something beautiful about the way you flip your hair if you have hair. I'm also thinking of cherry blossoms, something about a cherry pattern. There's something about you that's a little bit wild and untamable, but it's not totally overt. It's this angel with a devilish side, submissive with a dominant side, vanilla with a freaky side. I think there's something about you that's really, really cute. And I don't mean that in an infantilizing way, but you have a feature, you have something about your beauty that people find adorable, but then you have this very like sexy side at the same time, this sensuous side. So it could be as just one example, it doesn't have to be this one for you, but maybe you have these super sweet dimples when you smile, but then you also have these like feline eyes that remind people of like a femme fatale. But I think it's frustrating when people get you wrong and only see like one part of the story, because I'm hearing somebody say like, I'm not as innocent as you think I am. So it could kind of annoy you when people see the cute side and in their mind they kind of make you into this like sweet angel who could do no wrong. But actually there are other sides to you. Some of you could have a baby face, so maybe that's kind of where it catches people off guard. And when people get to know you, there's this element of like, oh, Pal 4, I thought you were so sweet and innocent. But maybe that's just their projection, because maybe you can be both. Like, you are sweet and you are adorable for the right people. You can be a good girl or guy, but you do also have this side where you're like, you don't want to mess with me because watch how quickly the tables can turn. You have this vibe of like, I could be your daydream until I'm your worst nightmare. I'm hearing the Taylor Swift lyrics where she's like, a nightmare dressed like a daydream or something. You might struggle with people forcing you into a box sometimes, not recognizing the duality. I'm getting something about the Madonna whore complex, especially if you are a female. And I don't want to go on a huge tangent about like female sexuality and misogyny, but people who have a distorted perspective when it comes to those kinds of topics, and people who tend to view things as very black and white, might get upset with you when they find out how multifaceted you are. Like, they can't group you into one or the other. So people might get upset with you when you break some kind of illusion of just being like this pure little angel, this like chaste little angel. If, for example, you're someone who's very in touch with your schmexuality or you discuss it openly, people could be like, oh, Pal 4, I didn't think you were like that, because they have this one image of you in their mind, and that's not all there is to you. Some of you have this one side to you that's very contained, and people might interpret that as, I don't want to say repressed, but maybe more reserved. I'm hearing the phrase buttoned up, so it could literally be like maybe you tend to dress modestly, like you do up all the buttons on your shirt or something, but then you have this kind of undercover, more sensuous side, but there is like a sexiness to your look even when you're completely covered up. There's something about you always looking beautiful because you're presentable. I can see this definitely being like a bit of a perfectionist side. Virgo energy could be relevant, and the reason I mention that is because, you know, Virgo is often associated with this archetype of like the unwed maiden or the virgin. So there's this image and association of purity and this like, again, chaste little angel who has never had an impure thought in their life. And what's funny about that is, and this is purely anecdotal by the way, this is no official astrology whatsoever, this is just a funny observation, but I tend to find that Virgo placements that I have encountered are actually like the biggest secret freaks with the biggest hidden kinks, but they're not necessarily like super loud about it. They're not hoeing it up in everyone's face like a Sagittarius Venus. They're not out there like a Sagittarius Venus or Mercury yelling to everyone like, oh, guess what? I had my first orgy last night. No, don't be offended if you're a Sag Venus or Mercury. I'm a Sag Venus and Mercury, so this is more of a joke aimed at myself. I'm laughing at myself, not anybody else. But Virgo placements are kind of like the embodiment of that idea of like lady or gentleman in the streets, freak in the sheets. And they're probably more likely to have some hidden fantasy. Again, this is based on nothing but things I have observed personally. But I tend to find it's either like one extreme or the other. Either Virgo placements are like completely asexual and not interested in anything like that, or they're secret freaks. And the stereotype is about them being kind of prudish, but more often than not, they're really not when they get to explore things with the right person. So you don't have to be like Virgo or anything, but you might have that kind of energy where you have more of like a classy beauty and people assumed you're like buttoned up or you're going to be a prude, but you also exude this raw sensuality that tells people that there's more going on. Some Virgos just pretend to be prudes or like they're shocked at things, but actually like they have way more shocking stories that they could tell you or things that they could teach you. Randomly, I've noticed a link between Virgo placements and butt stuff, so take that as you will. If that's not for you, leave it alone. But if I called you out, that's extra confirmation. Doesn't have to be like butt stuff specifically, by the way, if you're not into that, but I guess things that have been historically more taboo, Virgo likes exploring those things within the confines of like a healthy relationship, I guess. Oh, that's it. There's something taboo about your beauty. People are saying there's something like taboo about it. There's something that makes people feel as though like, oh, I shouldn't be having all these lustful thoughts about Pal 4, but I am. They're like, oh, I shouldn't be thinking this, but I am. And it draws them in even more. There's something about you having very clear eyes. It doesn't matter what colour your eyes are. They can be light, they can be dark, but it's something about them being like clear rather than muted. Or there's something about like, I'm seeing like dilated pupils, but also something about the colour contrasting against the pupil. They can see the colour very clearly and they think it's beautiful. This is a random message, but if any of you have an upcoming wedding, like you're getting married in the next couple of years, you are going to look so beautiful. That might just be a message for one person, but if you're waiting for like even your wedding pictures to come back, and if you were like worried about them maybe on the day, you know, especially if you have any kind of Virgo or Capricorn in your chart, because I can imagine you being a bit of a perfectionist, if on the day you were kind of like, oh, you know, my makeup wasn't done quite how I like it or something, and you were worried about the pictures, again, please don't worry, you're going to look so beautiful. I think this is a general message that you're going to look insanely gorgeous on your wedding day, whether you're the bride or groom. I know everyone tells people they look beautiful on their wedding day, but oh my god, for you, pal 4, it's going to be that extra level. Like, you really are. There's something about you being beautiful when you're busy multitasking. You know, even if, for example, you are married or you have a family, there's something about your spouse finding it beautiful when you're just going about your day and juggling tasks and trying to get everything done. Maybe it's like your spouse looks at you when you're busy dealing with the kids and they're just like, pal 4 has never looked more beautiful to me than right now. There's also a message for some of you that some of you have become more beautiful since you've chosen to walk away from something. So that was brave of you. You've walked away from something and it was really brave of you. You took a chance on something different, or you took a chance on yourself. This is an entirely different message now, but it's like you've blossomed after, you know, for example, leaving a dead-end job or a bad relationship or something that was keeping you stuck and stagnant. There's something that people find brave about you having walked away, and that bravery looks really beautiful on you. It feels like some of you guys have completely turned your life around. You've got rid of some kind of dead weight, and people are commenting like, pal 4 looks so good for having done that. Maybe it's like you've given up a bad habit. There's something beautiful about you. It's like you have kind of ingenue essence, but also you look like wise beyond your years. It's something like that. There's something beautiful about the amount of strength it's taken you to officially give up and put something behind you. Or maybe it's just bravery, as in like you're doing more things that you've never done before and people are saying you look good with this newfound confidence. This is a really random message, but if any of you have been in hospital recently, or you've had a health scare, or even something like you've given birth and you had a partner or someone close to you who was with you through that experience, they are saying they think your bravery during that difficult process was so insanely beautiful. And it feels like they're just looking at you in absolute awe, like they didn't even know you could get more beautiful. But it's like seeing what you've gone through and seeing what you've come out of the other side of, they have nothing but admiration for it and they think it makes you even more beautiful. So that is what I'm getting for your pal today, pal 4. I really, really hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did like the reading, please don't forget to like the video. Please comment and let me know what resonated if you get a chance. Even if it was just something tiny, that would help me and it would help this channel so much. And on a personal note, I just really love hearing from you guys and hearing about all the little details that resonated, if any. I hope some of them did. Please sub if you haven't done so already. That would help me and it would just let me know that you like this content and you won't mind seeing more of it. I am open to video suggestions if you want to leave them below. With all of that said, I just want to thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for taking time out of your day to listen. Take care and I will see you in the next one, pal 4. Hi Pal 5 Collective, if you chose the Trash Panda Tarot and you chose the Bathrobe Dog sticker, you are in the right place. Welcome to your reading, friends. If you would like a full reading breakdown, please check out my introduction. I go through absolutely everything there. I will also leave some details in the pinned comment below for your reference, so check that out so you know what to expect today. But today's reading is titled Surprising Observations Other People Make About Your Beauty, Aura and Magnetism. So what do people notice that you might not? What do people think is beautiful and magnetic about you and your aura that you yourself might not even be aware of? Usual disclaimer that this is a collective reading and not every detail is going to resonate for you, nor would I expect it to. Please always take what's for you and leave the rest for somebody else. You do not have to accept anything as your story if it isn't. If you're finding that a pile or this reading generally is not for you, no worries, it's a free reading on the internet and I am not holding you hostage here. If you want to give this one a miss, you are more than welcome to. And you are also welcome back anytime. We're going to be using oracle cards and tarot cards today for your reading, and I am very excited to get started. I love doing these hype you up style readings. Just a little heads up, it is very, very difficult for me to get all the cards in frame. Don't worry if you cannot see all the cards as I'm laying them. I will lay the cards and then check that they're in frame. I'm using a lot of cards today and I wanted to lay them out all at once because I wanted this to kind of be like an overarching story rather than doing it how I do sometimes and just looking at like one card at a time. I wanted us to be able to see all the cards, but don't worry if you can't see them all at first. I'm going to try and get everything in frame. It has been a bit difficult today because I'm not working with much space, but I want you to be able to see them and I want to be able to see them clearly, so I will do my best. Just bear with me. I know sometimes some of you guys just listen to the readings in the background and you're not really bothered about seeing every single card, but I do want to give you guys the opportunity to like pause the video and check out the cards if you would like to. But just don't worry if like you're not seeing them all at first. I will try and sort it out. Anyway, with all of that said, thank you so much for being here and spending this time with me. And without any further hesitation, let's get started with your reading today, Pal 5. I'm gonna pop your sticker over here. I'm gonna pop your tarot over here. And we're gonna start by looking at your oracle cards. Okay, so we have got number 21, Shaggy Ink Cap, Growth Destruction Cycle. From the Wild Whispers Oracle, we have got Happy Hedgehog, Curiosity, Energy, Productivity. Sprightly Critter of the Forest, help me discover new opportunities. Very cute. From the Blooming Cats Tarot, we have Cancer. So some of you could have Cancer or water placements. That doesn't have to be the case for this to be your pile. This is just about your overarching energy, but Cancer might be relevant. We have number 46, Family, Bond, Home, Background. That is from the Panther Oracle. From the Affirmations of Fairy Cats, we have Nurture. Beautiful. From the Green Witch Oracle, we have got number 7, Passion, Beetroot. We have got from the Mermaid Oracle, the Return of Aphrodite, Temple, Birth of the Goddess, Guidance, Goddess Energy, treating as sacred. There could be something beautiful about you treating your body as sacred. That's coming through already. We've got mystical power. My inner power is limitless and I embrace my, it says mystica, but I think it's meant to say mystical, mystica abilities with confidence. And then for your tarot, we have got the Page of Pentacles. We have got the Ten of Swords in reverse. We have got the Ace of Pentacles. I feel like the Ace of Pentacles has come out in pretty much every single one of these readings. I could be wrong. We've got the Six of Cups. That's definitely come out today in a different pile. We have got the Three of Wands. Nice. We've got the Queen of Swords. Love that. We've got the Four of Wands. Love that too. And your final card is the Empress. Of course you got the Empress. Okay, I think we can just about see all the cards. I think that's the best I'm going to be able to get it. Like I say, I'm sorry if it's a little bit wonky. Please feel free to pause the video and look at the cards if you would like to. But yeah, I think that's the best I'm going to be able to get it with limited space. Okay, I'm hearing something about being a kid in a candy store. I don't know if that's relevant to anyone. Something about like sweeties. Maybe there's a perfume or a fragrance that you wear that smells like candy or something. Maybe some of you have the Kayali fragrance. I'm thinking of, is it like vanilla, rock candy, sugar or something like that? I feel like I always get the words mixed up. I'm hearing your everyone's favourite flavour. I'm hearing your everyone's type. Your beauty is like your everyone's type. I do often like to mention the numbers on the cards at the start of these readings. Now, these numbers may or may not be relevant to you. If they're relevant to you, it could be in terms of an age, a date, a life path, a month, an astrological house, or the sign associated with that house. But these do not have to apply. It's just a little bit of extra confirmation for specific individuals if they do. But we have the numbers 21, 46, and 7. The numbers 1, 2, 4, 6, or 7 by themselves might also be relevant. Water sign energy definitely feels significant to this pile, so Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. We might have got a similar message in one of the other piles, I can't remember, but I'm definitely sensing some kind of black cat energy, or there's something about like embracing the light and dark feminine. And I'm also thinking of like when I stroke a black cat, they always just have the most luxurious, silky, soft, shiny, dark coats. So maybe you have hair like that. Maybe people think your hair is beautiful and they compliment you on this a lot. A lot of you could have brunette, like dark brown or black hair, but it doesn't have to be. But even if it's not, there's something about like soft hair, well looked after hair. Some of you could also have an ombre hair colour that looks really beautiful. Some of you might have like shaggy hair. Is it literally called a shag cut? Is that a thing? That word means something very different in the UK. I hope I'm allowed to say it on YouTube. Shag cut, is that what it's called? Am I just making things up? No, I think it is. I think that's the thing. I'm very confused at the moment, Pal 5. I'm sure yeah, I did. I mentioned Aphrodite in one of the other piles. I think it was pile 3. So if you were drawn to pile 3, there might be messages in there for you. You could have a very specific connection to Aphrodite, but even if you don't, there's something about you being able to channel Aphrodite energy through your beauty. Some of you could be redheads, or you could have strawberry blonde kind of hair. I'm also seeing something about you looking really beautiful when you wear royal blue or burgundy. There's something about somebody having like a deep burgundy or maroon coat, or maybe some of you are thinking about colouring your hair in a deep burgundy shade for autumn, and that would look really beautiful. I'm also hearing something about soft or muted colours though. Maybe some of you either have like a soft summer or soft autumn colour palette. I'm also getting something about winter colour palette. There's something about you being very closely connected to the moon, and that having something to do with your beauty and aura. Maybe it's actually to do with like your biological cycle if you experience that, although it certainly doesn't have to be. But if at times you notice fluctuations in your energy levels, or even something to do with just how beautiful or confident you feel, it could have a lot to do with your monthly cycle, or maybe there's some kind of ritual involving the moon that could kind of help you with that. That's just a message for somebody. I'm hearing something about moon water. There's also something about you capitalizing on your energy at either this certain point in your cycle or during this certain moon phase. It could be something to do with like when you feel you're most powerful and beautiful, capitalizing on that. But first of all, I want to say, pile 5, before I go on with all these extra confirmations, with us getting the Return of Aphrodite card, you are undeniably beautiful. I don't know if you know that, pile 5. Some of you know it now, but you haven't always felt that way. Some of you aren't even aware of it. But when people see you, they're like, is she here with us? Like, Aphrodite, she has returned. She has risen. And some of you, I almost feel like you have been made maybe to feel hyper aware of your attractiveness, and at times, sometimes it feels like more of a curse than a blessing, or a lot of you feel like it's a burden to only be viewed in that way or something. It's different for everyone, but I do just want to mention that if you feel like that applies. One thing that is standing out to me about your beauty though is that there is like depth to it. It's not just the exterior, but it's like the emotion behind it. Some of you could be very expressive. I don't want to say you wear your heart on your sleeve, because some of you are not that way. Like, some of you are definitely coming across as more guarded and more of that sort of like feral but cute black cat who doesn't trust humans straight away. Some of you have more of that energy, but people definitely observe that there is like a layeredness to you, and there are heavy emotions and profound insight behind your eyes, and people are curious about you and they're drawn to you because that energy very much radiates through your aura. I want to say there's like an artiness to your beauty. I don't even know if that is the right way to explain it, but I don't know how to explain it. It's like, I can imagine people wanting to take photographs of you because of your beauty, but it's not just physical. There's something you convey through your existence that is like resonant to the human experience in some way, and people might feel like they want to just capture it on camera, or, you know, draw you, paint you. I want to say you're an interesting life study. That's part of your beauty. I think it's like people are fascinated just watching you interact with the world. It's so hard to explain though, because yes, you are pretty, you're gorgeous, you're handsome, but it's not just that. You have the kind of beauty that people might think would make you like a great character actor, or like your beauty has soul. There's soul to your beauty, there's spirit to it. I don't know, it's like people think that you could throw yourself into a role and fully embody it, and embody all the emotions behind it as well. So some of you could be in acting or in creative industries. People say that you're beautiful because there's life behind your eyes. You're definitely not someone who could be described as like dead behind the eyes, unless you are literally an actor and you were like playing the role of a psychopath who has to be dead behind the eyes, like that's the part of the character. Then maybe, just maybe, you could transform into that because of your talent. But it's like, you get your facial features to convey whatever emotion you want to convey. It's almost like, I don't know why I want to say the word melancholic. There's a melancholy to your beauty, but it's not just, you know, sadness behind the eyes, but it could be, you could have these eyes where it just seems like you have a lot of stories, or there's an ocean of emotions behind them. But it could also be like, not just when you're sad, it's like the way your entire face lights up when you're happy, like you're a kid in a candy store, and people can truly see this beautiful smile behind your eyes. Maybe people do say it's beautiful that you smile with your eyes. It's like when you have an emotion, you mean it, you embody it. And I think that's the thing, like, Some people, you tell them something good, something exciting that's happened, and they smile at you and they're like, oh really? Oh wow, that's great. But the smile doesn't meet their eyes, and you can tell that they're not actually that interested. But with you, the smile reaches your eyes and people can see that there's heart behind it. Whatever emotion you're conveying, you do it in this very raw, primal way. I don't know why, but you also have the kind of beauty where people tend to like invent backstories for you. You definitely have a main character like beauty, a muse like beauty. I think I did mention this in one of the other piles. It might have been pile 3. I can't remember, but I can imagine people writing poems or songs about you even if they don't know you. I can also imagine people like basing the main character in their book off you or something like that. I don't know why, but I keep getting this message and I'm so sorry, but I keep getting this message and they want me to say it. But they're telling me that your pictures would go hard as fuck on Tumblr. They want me to tell you that people would reblog the shit out of your pictures. And I'm seeing like artistic pictures in black and white, or even like, you know, candid shots of you looking out of a window and it's raining and you're facing away from the camera. Or even for some of you, like artistic nudes. I know that's not for everyone, but I can imagine you, if you had a Tumblr or anything like that back in the day. I say that like it's 200 years ago, it wasn't that long ago, but I can picture you adding some line of poetry underneath your pictures or doing some like sad, deep quote underneath. I can't even think of one. If you are not at the age where you know what I'm talking about, then that's probably in your own best interest. But yeah, people would have gone crazy for you on Tumblr. That's what I'm hearing. Like, I can imagine in 2012 people reblogging these images of you along with like a picture of Effie from Skins and then a black and white picture of some girl's feet in Converse. And I'm just creating this whole aesthetic in my head. There's something about your beauty being aesthetic, and that doesn't make any sense because, like, what aesthetic? There are lots of different aesthetics, but I think that's the thing. People see you and you inspire something and they're like, oh my god, Pal 5 would be so perfect to play this character or to model for me and to do XYZ. It's something like that. I don't know. I can imagine people writing slam poetry about you. I can imagine them creating whole scenarios about you in their heads. You definitely get people's imaginations going. I think people fantasize about you a lot. You have that kind of beauty that people fantasize about. And you have this beauty where people almost think you're like this tortured artist. There's a bit of like moody artistry in your beauty. People think you're really deep, like emotionally deep. And you probably are, like, and you convey that through your beauty. Even if we go back to that Tumblr thing, I can imagine you putting up some quote. Oh, I really can't think of one off the top of my head, so I'm just going to Google Tumblr quotes and I'm going to read the first one that comes up. Hold on. Right, this one, it's on like a background of a sunset. It's from livelifehappy.com. So this is a deep life quote. I think it's from the blog Deep Life Quotes on Tumblr, but this one says, as we grow up, you will learn that the one person that wasn't supposed to ever let you down probably will. You will have your heart broken probably more than once, and it's harder every time. You'll break hearts too, so remember how it felt when yours was broken. You'll fight with your best friend. You'll blame a new love for things an old one did. You'll cry because time is passing too fast, and you'll eventually lose someone you love. So take too many pictures, laugh too much, and love like you've never been hurt, because every 60 seconds you spend upset is a minute of happiness you will never get back. I don't know who the original quote is by. It says unknown, but I got it from Deep Life Quotes on Tumblr. livehappy.com, I think it says. So that one, I can imagine you putting that quote on your Tumblr with like a picture of you, and people are looking at that and they're like, wow, Pal 5 is just so beautiful and so profound. Like, I wonder what Pal 5 is going through. It sounds like they've been through some shit. And in reality, maybe you just argued with your parents because they wouldn't buy you a new iPhone and you were just being like over dramatic or something. There's definitely like a sultry teen moodiness to your beauty. And there's something about people finding your beauty very deep and profound. If you have ever been open about something more serious, like if you weren't being overdramatic, but you've had issues with your mood, you've been through highs and lows, you've been open about some of your mental health struggles or anything like that, people sometimes have a bit of this thing with you where they're like, oh, I could fix Pal 5, or it could be the other way around. It can work both ways. Like, they either want to be your savior, they want to fix you, or they want you to fix them. You could attract a lot of people who have like mummy issues, I'm not gonna lie. And it could go either way. It could be like they want a parental figure, Or it could be like, you know, they want mummy's approval and they try and acquire that via you. That might just be a message for somebody. It doesn't have to be for everyone. You will know if that's for you. I'm not saying that's something that's going to happen. It just could have happened before, like you've noticed that has happened to you. It was coming through. I had to say it. So it could be either they want you to parent them or they want to act like a parent to you. It wouldn't surprise me if you've had people being overprotective or possessive with your energy at times at Power 5. It wouldn't surprise me if you've had a partner in the past who's been like, you're not going out dressed like that. And you've had to say like, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were my dad or my mum or something. I think people tend to develop these very fast and intense bonds with you very quickly. You make people feel like family right away. There's something familiar about your aura. It feels like home to people. It feels like being wrapped up in the warmest, coziest, comfiest hug. There's something really inviting about it. Being around you is like sitting next to a fireplace in winter when it's freezing outside. It's just heat. There could be something about your body heat being inviting, something about you giving the best hugs. Hugs that just make people feel so seen and heard and safe and comfortable. It could just be something about your voice or your touch, your words. You're like a lullaby to people. That's something I'm getting. And yeah, it's just something like resonant about your beauty. I keep getting the phrase resonant. Your beauty is like a song that everyone knows, but they haven't heard it for years. And it reminds them of like simpler times, and it makes them feel this sense of safety, like when they were a child. There could just be something about your vibe that makes people feel well taken care of, almost like when they're with you, they know everything is going to be okay. People feel looked after when they're with you, but they could also feel like they want to look after you. It could be because something about your eyes is so open or expressive. It's as though people look at you and I'm hearing like they don't want the world to take away from that openness or expressiveness. So it's almost like people are saying, we have to protect Pal 5 at all costs. Like, I have to swoop in and save Pal 5 because their beauty is so precious. It's this rare find. It's almost like people want to come and save you because they don't want you to ever go through something bad. Like, people want to be your hero. You have the kind of beauty that inspires people to be heroic or try to step up to be your protector. It's like you're the princess trapped in a tower who they want to come and save or something like that. People think you're beautiful when you're happy and they love seeing you smile. I feel like somebody's saying they don't ever want to see you stop smiling. And so they feel like they kind of have to protect you and just keep you happy and safe at all costs. They don't want anything bad to ever like come into your vicinity. This could be an actual physical person. It could also be like spirit guides, something about you being divinely protected. If it's an actual person, sometimes you could feel like this is overprotection, maybe from a parental figure. There's something very just cute about you. Like, people want to just bundle you up and look after you. You could find that your beauty makes people want to do lots of acts of service for you. And I keep thinking, like, it's not the nicest example, I'm sorry to have to give this one, but with the hedgehog and with like the 10 of swords kind of under it, like, I used to live on a main road growing up, and so whenever I saw a hedgehog when I was younger, it was always, unfortunately, when one had been like squished by a car on the main road. And I've always been a huge animal lover, so this would really upset me. And my mum, like, when she'd take me to school, I could feel her tensing up when we'd see one because she just knew that I was gonna get emotional about it, basically. And there would be like 1,000 questions. And I'd almost like make up this story for this dead hedgehog in my head. And I'd be asking, like, where do you think he wanted to go? Like, do you think his family are looking for him and all of this? And I'd spend the next few weeks looking around every pavement for alive hedgehogs so I could save them from this impending doom. And not in exactly the same way, but that's kind of what people do with you. It's like they want to save you or protect you from anything bad in the world because you're this beautiful, pure light and you radiate so much raw emotion. And you really radiate this warm and nurturing energy. And your beauty makes people like not sad, but almost like concerned for you in this way where they're like, oh, this creature is just too pure and too beautiful for this ugly world. But it's like a soul light that you have. It's a soul beauty. I don't know how to explain it. It could be to do with the beautiful way that you treat people, if you're kind and loving towards people, but it's something that shines from the very core of you, from your soul. I think you can come across as incredibly warm to people. Again, you just make people feel like they have this close bond with you, like they are family. I think there's this softness and a delicateness to your beauty, but sometimes people forget that you're also very strong. And you guys have to be, because you guys, you feel so much emotion, and it's hard feeling all of that and still being so resilient, but you are. So sometimes you might find that people are a little bit overprotective, or like they treat you as though you're this fragile baby bird with a broken wing, and you're not. Like, you can take care of yourself, but I think people think it is beautiful when you give them the opportunity to also allow them to take care of you. And maybe that is something you're still learning, like how to maintain your independence, which is important to you, whilst also being open to receiving. But there is so much beauty in like how much you care about everything that you do. I really feel like the things you care about, you put your all into, you give it 110%. People could think there's beauty in your creative or artistic pursuits. If you're worried about putting your work out there, whether it's like art or your stories or poetry or content creation, if you're a creator yourself, people might actually find it very inspiring. People might think that you're naturally gifted when it comes to the realms of creating things. There's something also about how much you care for your family or how loyal you are. Please note, this does not have to be biological family. For some of you, it might if you're close with your family and people see you out and about with them, but it doesn't have to be. It can be chosen family. So it can be family that's made up of your close friends, or it could be a family you have chosen to have, like with a spouse or children. But there's something about your aura that tells people that you are like down for your loved ones, and you really value and nurture the people closest to you, and you throw all of your energy into nurturing those close relationships in your life. So what might be surprising is like a lot of people, I think they see you interacting with your family, whoever your family is. Again, doesn't have to be biological, just whatever family you have chosen, or your biological family if you're close. But it could be that they see you playing with your children, or taking care of your drunk friend, or taking your grandma who's in a wheelchair on a shopping trip. People see all these beautiful things you do, and it just makes you radiate even more gorgeousness, stunningness, because the way you look after people, the way you step in to care for people, the way you show so much love and warmth and generosity, that isn't a trait that's easy to come by. You are the embodiment of love energy, of source energy, and it might surprise you by how often people see you doing the little everyday things that you do, and just the way you are naturally, like the way you exist in the world. It makes people look at you like, that's a gorgeous soul, that's a beautiful human, like anyone would be lucky to have that person in their life. So I think people think how lucky your friends and family must be to have someone as beautiful as you around. You come across as a very family orientated person. Like, the people who you call your home or your safe place, you will give everything to those people. You're incredibly loyal. And yeah, I just think people find it beautiful the way you get genuinely happy and excited for other people, the way you manage to find the joy in the little things. There is a message that keeps coming through about fertility, so don't take that if it's not for you, but I do keep getting this message about people wanting to have babies with you. I'm just going to say it. People could have said that to you before, hopefully in like a jokey way, unless this is your spouse and that's something you want. But people could have literally said to you, I want to have your babies. Or people make comments about you like, I would have Power Five's babies. Or something about people looking at you and being like, we would have gorgeous babies. So please be careful, Power Five. If you are physically active and you don't want that, and that's possible for you to get pregnant, be careful, because somebody who has a breeding kink, I don't know, could be you, maybe you guys have a breeding kink, I have no idea, but somebody is coming through that wants to make you a baby mommy or daddy. And they're saying like, I would literally want to make Power Five the mother or father of my child. So do not get baby trapped, please, if you don't want that. Again, won't be for everyone. But there's something about people wanting to like make a family or a life with you, and maybe they just think that you have really good genes. Okay, you're making me think of the controversy with the recent Sydney Sweeney advert, because my brain just keeps wanting to say, my genes are bleh. So people are saying like me and Power Five would make beautiful babies. Maybe it's not even in like a sexual way though. Maybe it's people just commenting like, if you did decide to have children, you would have the most beautiful babies because they think you have really good genes. Something like that, I don't know. If you already have babies, there could be something about like you look even more beautiful after having children than you did before. Maybe there's something about you filling out in this very soft, feminine way, or maybe this is like you glowing and looking radiant in your parenthood, motherhood, whatever your gender identity is. For some people, it could be saying like you have beautiful hips or you have a beautiful chest area. There is absolutely a raw sensuality that you do exude, There's something primal about it, something a little bit animalistic. With the passion card, I'm seeing something about erogenous zones. It could be that a lot of people feel that immediate spark with you. You are definitely very, very physically attractive and desirable. You get people going, you light people up. I think you get a lot of people feeling very excited. There's something about pheromones too, and we did get something about your cycle, so maybe it's something about like having strong pheromones at a certain point in your cycle. I don't know anything about that kind of stuff, but there's something like somebody saying they think everything you do is just sexy. Like, you can just be sat there minding your business, sipping your cup of coffee, and people look at you and they're like, oh my god, Power 5 is just so hot. Like, you're not even trying to do anything, but you have this raw sensuality where people kind of just want to pursue you. You get people going, you tend to turn people on without trying. I'm hearing like, I don't know what it means, but it's provocative. There's something about you that's like provocative. People just kind of want to approach you and like throw you over their shoulder and take you back to their cave. I don't know why that's coming through. You bring out this like, I don't know, just these primal urges in people, and they're kind of like, I don't know where that came from, but something about Power 5 gets me going. It just gets me in the mood. You could find with partners that you've had, like, you don't even have to do anything to get them in the mood. They're just always a little bit horny for you. They're always down. Or even if you're like just wearing your bathrobe, people want to do things to you. It just doesn't take away from your schmex appeal. There could be something very attractive about how clean you smell. Maybe it's like a shampoo or a shower gel you use. I'm also getting that you can be wearing just like comfy, cozy clothes, your PJs and an oversized t-shirt, and people still want you. Like, you still look so good. So you could just go out of your house to do your errands and you think you look bad, and someone is out there looking at you thinking you look hot and wishing they could make you theirs. Like, it doesn't matter what you're wearing, you just have this very natural, desirable appeal. Maybe the body is tea, maybe the face card never declines. I know cancers rule like the breast, chest area, so you could have a nice area, but I'm also thinking of like, if some of you have gained weight or lost weight, like, it doesn't matter that you've gained or lost weight, you always look good. You always just have that appeal to you. Like, if for example you've gained more weight than you'd like, you carry it well to the point where it doesn't even matter. Like, people still obsess over you, they still drool over you. You're still that girl or guy. They're still very passionate about you. Like, you cannot do anything to make yourself look ugly. Nothing you ever do is ugly. And that shines through from your soul. Even when you think like, oh, I look gross today, you never ever do, because you have this intrinsic appeal. Some of you do kind of give MILF vibes. I'm not gonna lie, like, even if you don't have kids, you could tend to attract slightly younger people, or you tend to find that people kind of like want to be taken under your wing, or people tend to get clingy with you, almost like they're looking for a parental figure. People want to be around you and stay with you all day, like, because why would anyone ever want to leave their home when it's with you? Nobody would, because it's warm, it's soft. People don't ever want to leave when they're in your energy. You give this aura where you're like, I've got what you need. Come with me, I've got what you need. I'll take care of you. I can imagine you being the friend who carries like extra tampons or a hairbrush or wipes or a lip gloss for your friends. You always have what people need. Maybe some of you are the mum or dad friend of your group. You're like the organised one, or the one who's like, I've got you, don't worry. And it makes people feel safe. It makes people feel like they can rely on you, like they can be close to you and depend on you. People feel that instantaneous connection with you. I can imagine you having like deep conversations with people right away. I also feel like people feel really grateful when they see you. It makes their day more beautiful when they show up to an event and they're like, thank God Power 5 is here. Some of you guys could have hit a milestone recently. You've hit some milestone that is adding to your beauty. Maybe it's you reaching a particular goal. It could be like a fitness goal. You could be learning how to reparent yourself or look after yourself. You could have recently come out of some kind of period of overwhelm. You have this aura where you will like stand up and fight for and protect the people you love. You're not ever going to let any of your loved ones be treated badly. People just feel like you're really down for them, and there's beauty in that loyalty. I think people get really curious about you, especially if they're not in your inner circle. People think that there's beauty in the fact that you can teach them a lot. They feel like they can learn a lot from you. People are saying you're looking like a lot more happy and radiant again, maybe after a period of difficulty. That's come through in a lot of the readings today, like something about coming back and looking after yourself after like burnout. That keeps coming through. But a lot of you guys today, whichever pal you pick, you're like glowing up again. It's definitely coming through here too. Somebody who you mentor or work with could really be attracted to you and think you're the most beautiful person they've ever seen. Some of you are expanding, some of you are getting more aligned with who you are again, some of you are branching out. This can be like you've reached a particular fitness goal and now you're trying something new to up-level yourself even more. For some of you, it could be like you going after a promotion. Maybe some of you are being seen more socially again, and every time you're seen, you're just looking really good. Like, you're looking as though you've got your glow back. Not that it ever went away, but like, you just look glowing, you look content, you look happy. You maybe come back from a time where you were dealing with some kind of stress. You guys look like you have stories to tell. There's a truthfulness and a genuineness to your beauty. Like, people feel as though there's beauty in the fact that they can believe what you're saying. I'm hearing what you're selling. Like, they believe what you're selling. They believe they can trust you. They believe they can open up to you. People might overshare with you. And something else I'm getting is like, although you feel very, very deeply, you're not getting overwhelmed as much as you once used to. You're coming across as like discerning and quite in control. There's something beautiful about the way you're establishing your boundaries. There's something beautiful about the way you're living in your truth. You're living in your truth and your authenticity more. You're being less people-pleasing. You're saying no when you need to. You're just expressing yourself in a way that feels more authentic to you. And it makes you feel even more beautiful. And it makes other people interpret you as even more beautiful and magnetic. There's something about you being able to discipline in a kind way. There's beauty in this idea that like whatever it is you're doing right now, you look like you belong. You look right at home doing something. So people could find it beautiful. Like if, for example, you've recently started doing this new role at your job, it could be people saying like, oh, Power 5 looks like this is what they were always meant to be doing, like they've just settled into this role right away. Or, you know, if you started at a new place of work, or you've moved locations or something, or you've started letting your creativity flourish. Could be like creativity with your appearance, maybe trying new things. People think whatever you're doing, it's more of like who you honestly are on the inside. Like the outside is starting to reflect more of the inside. Like maybe trying a style you've always wanted to experiment with, and it feels like, oh yeah, that really suits Power 5. Like, I'm glad they're doing that. Like, it just works for them. They look so beautiful. You are radiating a lot of magnetism because of this happiness and this sense of like liveliness and energy you exude. You seem like you have a lot of energy all of a sudden. You're getting your energy back and you're looking good for it. There's something also about you like thriving now that you're with the right people. And I'm thinking of that like it's a bit of a misogynistic joke that I've seen going around on Instagram and things. And I say misogynistic because usually this tends to happen to female celebrities, but it's like two pictures of the same celebrity side by side. And on one side, it's got a picture of the celebrity looking like all dolled up, really conventionally attractive. And on the other side, it's more of like a candid shot, or like one where they're caught off guard, or it's not like the most flattering angle or something like that. And there's this misogynistic joke where it's like the side where the celebrity looks good, it says like, oh, when she's your girlfriend versus when she's your wife, and the wife side is like meant to be the bad side. But I like saw an interesting take on that the other day. It was like a response to that, and they've said like the good side is when her family is taking care of her, and the bad side is like when you're taking care of her, meaning like you're as in the original poster who made the misogynistic joke in the first place. So I think the implication is like you look good when you're with the right people and when nobody is stressing you out, and when you are surrounded by the right kinds of people who are there to celebrate you and nurture you and love you for who you are. It feels like you're hanging out with more of those kinds of people. It doesn't have to be like your family versus a relationship romantically or anything like that. But if you have left a relationship and you're now in a better relationship, like you left a bad one for a good one, or you left some bad friends for some better ones, or you're not around people who are taking as much from you, you're around more people who are like giving to you, you look truly beautiful for that when you're being like well taken care of by the right people and it's reciprocal. You have a glow about you when you're with people who are accepting of you and people who love you for who you are. So maybe that's what you've been trying to do lately, and it's like you get energy from those people. They're not taking your energy away from you like maybe some people in the past did, and you look good for that. I feel like this is also saying like people think you're beautiful because no matter what you wear, you look good. So you look good in a flowy midi or maxi dress, but you also look good in a bodycon. And if you're insecure about any like new curves or lumps or bumps you have, there's something about that making you look hot too. Like if you have, what is it called? Like the little belly, is it called a fupa? Is it have I made that up? But people are saying the fupa is sexy, like the bit of your belly that like sticks out a little bit. If you have that, you don't have to, this might not be for you, but if you do have that, and sometimes when you wear a bodycon you're like, oh, is this too tight? People are saying no, like it looks so good, it looks sexy, you look hot. I'm also hearing something about like getting revenge on people who wronged you with your beauty. And I don't think it's literally that you're getting revenge, like you don't need to, but the revenge is just you existing. So like, it's as though people who used to bully you are now absolutely obsessed with you, and they now want you. They're now like sliding into your DMs, and you sort of punish them by not giving them the time of day. But it's like people who you used to think made you feel unattractive, they want you now, or they want to look like you, or they want to know your secrets. And I think your revenge is just you not giving them the opportunity to talk to you. Like they didn't appreciate your beauty then, so they don't get to appreciate it now. Like if, for example, you were bigger when you were younger and they didn't treat you very respectfully, or they called you names, they made fun of your weight, why would you want to date them now just because you've lost the weight? It's that kind of thing. And some people say like, people are allowed to have preferences, like just because they didn't want to date you when you were bigger doesn't mean they don't deserve a chance. And I agree that people can have preferences, but there's a difference between somebody having a preference and somebody being disrespectful just because they don't find something attractive. And I also think for me personally, like I would probably be of the same mindset. Like if somebody put me down back then and then I had a glow up, like you have maybe done Pal 5, and then they were suddenly interested in me, I probably wouldn't want to have much to do with them either. And it's not even like I'm still thinking about them or I think they're a terrible person, but they're just not the person for me. Because for me personally, like I'm not shallow enough for a little bit of weight to make a difference in like me finding someone attractive. And I'm sorry if like people disagree with that. I know people have their preferences and that's fine, but I am just very aware that like bodies change, and being able to work out and being able to maintain a certain specific weight is a privilege, and things might change as we age, or if we lose mobility, or if we have a health issue or something like that. And I just wouldn't want to risk being with somebody who their feelings for me could change based on something that I consider very small. I know there can be like extremes to this. I think, you know, if two people become incompatible because for one person fitness and working out is important to them and the other person it's not important, like that's different. That's less about how somebody looks and more like the lifestyle. It doesn't have anything to do with how somebody looks. But yeah, I don't know why I went off on a rant about that, but if that's happened to you, like I'm right there with you, Pal 5. Do what you want. Sometimes the best revenge is just you existing. No revenge whatsoever. Just go out there and find somebody who deserves you, because there are plenty of people wanting you. You don't have to settle for somebody who has in the past at whatever point made you feel bad just because they're telling you you look good now. Like, where was that energy back then, you know? So yeah, like don't feel bad for rejecting people. I also want to say, like, some of you guys look so good, so beautiful in romantic styles of clothing. There's something about like flouncy sleeves or lace, or I'm seeing like a corset with a flowy skirt, or, you know, like the bodycons but with sort of like ridges on. I'm also seeing something about you looking beautiful in Bardo styles and velvet. I'm getting velvet and like draped fabric, something about that. And the colour pink, oh my god, I'm hearing you guys would eat up the colour pink. People might say that you look beautiful in your everyday makeup style. You could have a sort of no makeup look, or you could actually wear no makeup at all and still look really beautiful. But I'm hearing like if you ever do wear makeup, you would look really beautiful in like a soft glam. So lots of pinks, rose, dusky rose, and muted sort of glamour style. And yeah, definitely drape styles. I'm hearing something about you looking luscious and divine. I keep hearing luscious and divine. I'm hearing something about there being power in your nurturing nature and your femininity. I'm also seeing something about you being beautiful when you're seen outside, and I'm seeing somebody like writing in their journal while swinging in an egg chair with bare feet and a sundress on. And I'm also seeing somebody like sprawled out on a picnic blanket, like keeping hydrated and like doing their work or something. And if you do anything like this, you look really, really beautiful. So when you're outside in nature, you look sensational. I'm hearing sensational, and I'm hearing rich, and I'm hearing divine and lush. I'm hearing plump lips. Some of you have beautiful plump lips. but I'm also hearing you have a very natural beauty. So yeah, that is what I'm getting for you, Pal 5. I really hope you enjoyed this reading today. If you did like the reading, please do me a massive favour. Please like the video. Please leave me a little comment. Let me know what resonated. Even if it's just one tiny little thing from the reading, I would love to hear about it. On a personal note, I just love hearing from you guys and hearing about the things that resonated. Like I say, even the really small things. Please sub if you haven't done so already. That just lets me know you like this reading and you like this style of content and you wouldn't mind seeing more of it. With all of that said, I want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you for spending this time with me and for listening. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one, Pal 5.